Hello everyone, welcome back to another tomato sauce stream. Today we have the new box that has come out. It came out yesterday. We couldn't stream yesterday because I was working, which is a bit of a shame. I like to be there day one if we can, but unfortunately things don't always work out that way. But this is our day one, this is my day one of playing with the box. And the box is, I mean, we had the leaks, right? So from the leaks, we kind of knew what we were getting, and we already knew that Sky Savior was going to be a bit of a disappointment. Overall, I would say Sky Savior is feeling a little bit mediocre. I don't want to say it's like completely awful and like dead in the water, but like it's not in a good spot. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's just not going to be winning a tournament anytime soon. I would be very, very surprised if it did. That being said, the deck I think can still function. It's just not going to be like a particularly strong deck. Worms, on the other hand, doing very, very well. So, we had 2 tournaments yesterday, and one of them only had 15 players, which unfortunately is just below the cutoff to make it onto the spreadsheet. So, that one doesn't count to me. But, both tournaments were won by Worms, which does say a lot. Hopefully, it does mean the deck is going to perform quite well, but I will always say this on the first week of any new product coming out. People are wanting to play the new stuff, which means there'll be less people playing the old stuff. It does mean that builds are still going to be a bit erratic. People aren't going to necessarily know the best way to build these decks. They're not going to know the best way to counter these decks yet. So don't just take day one results and be like, oh, Worms tier 0 best deck in the game. Like, it might end up being really, really good, but we don't know until we get more data realistically. I think the deck is pretty good though, and it looks pretty fun as well. So it's a deck as well that we did our stream, I want to say last Thursday, and we were doing our like day one builds of what we thought decks were going to look like. I think from that, we were pretty accurate. The one takeaway is that I think Boca and Nika were... I was expecting those cards to do really well and make it into the list, but it seems like people are leaning away from playing those cards. And it does make sense. The downside is there aren't fantastic cards to replace them, so it puts us in a bit of a weird spot, but it does seem like Harken is the one that is taking its spot, or taking their spot. Harken being the draw 2 cards card, so there's that. But before we get into all of the nitty gritty, let's say hello to everyone in the chat. So we have Darth Victor, hello, hello Victor. We have Gelato Gaga, hello, hello Gelato Gaga. We have Prophecy Phrase, finally made it to a tomato sauce stream, let's go. Hello Prophecy Phrase, welcome, welcome. We have Ursus, who did win one of the tournaments yesterday, so congratulations on that, Ursus. We have Islet in the chat. Hello, hello, Islet. We have Corey in the chat. Hello, hello, Corey. I'm going through the fire and the flames here, too. Yeah, it's... So, the Heatwave isn't as bad this time as it was last time. Last time, we were getting up to, like, nearly 40 Celsius. Now, we're only going to be capping out at, like, 33, 34. So, like, it's not the end of the world, but anything above 30 is awful. So I hate whenever it goes above 30 Celsius. So it's pretty rough, but we'll get through it, right? We'll get through it. The UK on fire. Finally got Pure Sky Saviors to work on Duel Links last night. Surprisingly decent. Well, that's good then. I've heard like some people have got it to like the function, but I don't think it's going to work in like a competitive setting. I think you could easily get it to like COG, but like You can COG with anything, if we're being honest. So it's like, it's a tricky one. I don't think it's going to perform well in tournaments, and I think that's where it's really going to matter, right? Heatwave Overrush Edition. Hello, a human Portuguese dub fan. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Hit as well. Next should be the Overrush Black Premium, and then Full Art Heatwave still has it. Well, usually we only get 1 Heatwave a year, so the fact we're getting 2 back-to-back is like, ugh. Like, it's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. We have Kuro-sama in the chat. Hello, hello, Kuro-sama. Most of your leaks were right. Sky Savior just exists to make ladder less fun. I mean, all of, like, first off, like, they're not my leaks, right? They're just the leaks I cover. They're leaks from the data miners. They all came out, didn't they? Did any of the cards that we had leaked not come out? I'm pretty sure all of them did. I'm looking at the list now. That's out, that's out, that's out, that's out, that's out, that's out. Yeah, 100% of these came out. Yeah, every single leak came out. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, let's try and catch up. Sky Savior just exists to make ladder less fun. What does that mean? Like, what do you... Alright, there's this, like, weird precedent going around that Sky Saviors is, like, a really scummy deck. And I kind of get it, because in the OCG it was a Floodgate deck. But we don't have the Floodgates here. So now it's just the deck that plays Sky Savior Wish? And Wish isn't that bad, right? I mean, if you're talking about, like, trap spam decks, then 4D spams more traps than Sky Savior. So I think it's a bit weird that there's this, like, negative stigma attached to the deck when all of the negative cards aren't in the game. It feels really weird to me. It just feels like people, like, clinging on to OCG, like, say, like, stigmatism. It's very strange to me. Metarian stonks not rising. Yeah, Metarian is in a bit of a weird spot. It feels like Metarian is in a similar space to where Light Galaxy was. Which was like, they got some new cards, and the new cards are pretty good. We need a new skill, right? The skill needs an update. The skill is a last year skill, and we are now in 2026. We need 2026 skills, please, right? That's kind of where we're at. Worm Equip goes crazy. I know, the Worm Equip is so crazy. Worm Tier 0, they best deck. Hello, Shui. We're doing exclamation mark Shui in the chat. I've always got to give a shout out to the boys. And most people still play heroes again and again. On ladder, you're always going to see the same patterns repeat again and again and again. We were seeing Gaia as the only deck on ladder for the longest time. Then we were seeing Seven's Road just again and again and again. Then we started to see some Light Galaxy crop up. And it's been kind of rotating between Hero, Light Galaxy, and Seven's Road for like the last year. So realistically, the easily obtainable, fairly simple to play, free to play decks are the decks that are going to be just cycling round and round and round and round again. Hello to my hello chat. Haha, I am melting. Well, that's not ideal. Melting is not my ideal state of being, but I am in a similar predicament right now, I can tell you that much. We have Voltalon in the chat. Hello, hello. Limiting factor for Sky Saviors is the deck is really difficult. Ah, okay. I haven't, like... I got to, like, theory craft a little bit with it, but I haven't actually played it, right? There's a whole difference between thinking about it in theory and then actually working out, like, what plays you can actually make, right? So, I'll have to actually play it and find out. Just turn your aircon on? Yes, because I certainly have air conditioning. The thing is, a lot of people say that, right? And they're like, why don't you just get aircon? And the thing is, aircon is expensive. It is actually very, very expensive to buy an aircon unit. It is cumbersome. Unless you get a very, very expensive one, it is very large, it can be very noisy, and it can be a bit of a pain to set up. It's very expensive to actually run, because it is a, like, electric guzzler. Like, it will absolutely go through your electricity so, so quick. And then, the days it's actually, like, so hot you really want to have aircon is, like, between, like, 7 and 10 throughout the entire year. So you're going for that massive investment, and not just, like, monetary investment, but also, like, just the stress of, like, having to get it, set it up, have this thing, like, existing in your home, which you then are going to want to put away, because you don't want it all the time, obviously, for what is essentially going to be 10 days a year. It doesn't make sense. But that's just because the country we live in, right? It's usually not hot here. That's just how we do. Is there air conditioning over there? There is most certainly not air conditioning. Well, again, we don't have it as standard. You have to go out and buy an air conditioning unit. So it's a detached, like, unit, usually about yay big, that you, like, stick next to a window. That's how it works over here. A looping Wish with Galfare works pretty good if you can keep 2 in rotation. The thing is, I think it's very optimistic to think that you're going to get it set up exactly how you want to without being interrupted by your opponent, who's most likely going to just try and kill you on turn 2 or 3. So it's, I want to say Sky Savior has potential, but, like, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. As soon as it, like, starts topping events, that's when I'm going to be a bit more like, oh, maybe this could be a bit better. Time Machine? I mean, we do most certainly not have Time Machine. That's what makes him nuts. Sky Savior is really big brain indeed. Note UK doesn't really have aircon, doesn't help that UK houses are designed to keep heat in. Exactly. We build ovens and then live inside them. That is what we do. Because again, it's usually freezing over here all the I'm so bad with them. Hello, Pokemaster Ian. I have seen many of WYRM builds run the maximum monster. It's kind of silly not to. So, I think a lot of people didn't realize how good Build Dragoon was going to be. Fundamentally, Build Dragoon is sort of the glue that holds the deck together. And then if you're playing Build Dragoon, you might as well play the maximum left and right pieces, because you get a discount on your Build Dragoon. And you could search them. So you can get away with like one Build Dragoon, one max piece if you want. But then it's like, well, I don't want to have to use my skill to search the max piece. So if I max out on both of them, now I have a higher chance to find them, and then I can use my skill to search other things. And then you're like, well, if I'm already playing 6 max pieces, I could just slot the middle one in. And then suddenly it becomes this like, do these need to be a separate deck between a maximum version and a fusion version, or is it just one version, right? And I think that's the kind of logic that we've kind of gone through to get to where we are now. Let's try and catch up with the chat a little bit. Surely we're playing Tenyi. I mean, it would be nice if we were playing Tenyi. Hello, Hidden Barnco. Welcome, welcome. I'm actually not the biggest Tenyi fan, you know. Tenyi is, like, fine, but it's never been, like... A lot of people, like, laud it as being one of the best decks and one of the most fun decks. I've never really seen it that way, personally. I always thought it was a little bit boring. My issue with Sky Savior is Wish and being able to recycle it as they wish. It's not fun to deal with and makes the matchup against them more back row hate reliant, which just isn't fun in my opinion. Also, I find their vibe in general to be mid, but that's just my opinion in the end. I mean, that's fair enough. It's not... The reason I brought it up is because you're not the first person to say it. I've seen a handful of different people all say the same thing, which is just like, Sky Save is just not fun. But then, by that same logic, like, don't you have the same problem with the 4D deck, the Destiny Draw Divine Dragon? Because that deck, you know, especially when it's not playing the Dragonic Pressure version, is just playing like 9 to 10 traps. Like, it just spams traps. And that, theoretically, has the same connotation, right? Of like, I don't like my plays being interrupted by my opponent's annoying powerful trap cards, right? As for the vibe, I mean, yeah, different people are going to like different things, right, fundamentally. I really like the Sky Saver vibe. I think the idea of combining your fairies with your, like, knights into Celestial Warriors is really, really cool. I think that's just a cool aesthetic, but then again, I've always been a big fan of, like, the kind of the Paladin archetype, and I think it does match that quite well, so it makes sense I'd be into it. We have Rarity in the chat as well. We'll do exclamation mark. Rarity. Will we get Noodles being tier 0? No. Noodles... the skill still locking you to only fusion summoning once holds that deck back by so much. Realistically, right now, Noodles is in a weird spot where a lot of their plays are quite expensive, like card economy wise, and they don't actually do much. Because the thing you have to remember is, we're at a time where the meta is kill your opponent on turn 2. Almost every good tier 1 deck has the capability to kill your opponent on turn 2, right? So Dark Galaxy can still do this, even without Chryso, you can still kill on turn 2. Gradius can still kill on turn 2. The new WYRM deck can still kill on turn 2. In fact, Heroes is probably the only, like, strong deck that doesn't really have that option. Like, you can kill on turn 2, but it's so unlikely. It's so unlikely. You're much more likely to play kind of a defensive first turn, and ideally you want to go first with Hero anyway, because you want that defensive turn 1. And then you'll kind of have a more interactive game and maybe try and kill on turn 3 or turn 4 if you have the available, like, cards that you need to do it. But I would say Heroes is... It's weird. Heroes kind of plays like a control deck, but it only has a small number of traps available to it, which makes it feel like it's not a control deck. But because you have so much deep draw, you can find your traps more reliably than some other decks, so it ends up feeling like a control deck. It's a strange one. It's a very strange one. Also, I know I rhymed. Excellent. That's what we want to see. Yeah, Wish plus Galflare loop can be really frustrating to play against. I will agree. I swear Duel Link's speed is peak from what I played so far. I mean, I haven't engaged too much with speed recently. I mean, I say this like every stream, right? I have always really enjoyed the speed format. But right now, we're just like tier 0 Stardust. But again, tier 0 Stardust doesn't really matter if you're just playing ladder. Like, when you get to the very tippy top of the ladder, there's probably going to be a lot of Stardust players. If you're in Gold, Platinum, you're barely going to play against Stardust. And when you do, it's going to be noobs who have net decked good players and don't know what they're doing, so you'll get wins off them anyway, right? So, realistically, I don't know if the metagame matters as much in speed, because if you're just a ladder player, you're not going to engage with it very much. If you want to see the replay, I put it in RRF. Right, we are in an ad break, so let's let the ad stick away, and then we'll continue on. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there goes the edges. Hello everyone, welcome back from the edges. RF shows what the deck can do, albeit in a mirror. I'm not sure a mirror is going to be the best thing. The other issue is, I don't... Alright, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you can click a replay link and have it play on desktop. I think I could only get it to play on mobile, which doesn't help if I want to show it off to the stream. Which is very annoying. I'd have to have you as a friend and look through your saved replays. That's the only way I could do it on PC. We didn't get the Floodgate, which I like for Sky Savior. The thing is, I don't even know how impactful the Floodgate would be, right? Like, for example, against Worms, the Floodgate's going to do next to nothing. In fact, almost literally nothing. It's going to stop, like, Pot of Greed. Against Sky Saviors, it would stop a couple of things, like in like the mirror. Against Hero, it would be very detrimental. Outside of the fact that Hero can still do their fusion plays, it locks down all of their other spell cards. It's pretty good against, I guess, against Dark Galaxy. It doesn't necessarily even hurt that deck. This is what I mean. There's a lot of decks that just don't care about that Floodgate. So I don't know if it would have mattered that much overall, but who was the opponent? I don't think Sky Savior will be big in tourneys, but ladder-wise, it could be pretty good. My negative opinion aside. Well, I think that's the thing. On ladder, anything can be good. Like, everything can win games on ladder, right? It basically, if you're trying to tailor a list to be good on ladder, you just need it to be able to beat, like, Heroes and maybe Light Galaxy and like Sevens. If you can beat those three decks, your deck's going to do fine on ladder, right? You can easily cog. That's kind of how it just comes down to. I know because I played the deck. I'm so sorry. I figured how to stop it from doing their loop, but it requires being lucky during shiny and then blow their board up. Or back her hay. My main issue with Sky Savior is that there's only one Lure Fusion which can make using the Angels with the skill frustrating because they have to change their name, which can slip you up. Yeah, I don't know why they've given us... I don't know. We were going through, like, potential builds of how the deck could function, right? And I think if they had 100% of their support, like, literally every single Sky Savior card was printed, with the current skill, I think that deck would maybe push its way into, like, bottom of tier 1, top of tier 2, right? So the fact that we've got almost none of that stuff makes me now feel like that deck is, like, bottom of tier 3, maybe high rogue, right? It's such a weird decision to not give us all the rest of their cards, when, again, I don't even think it would make them, like, super busted. But, again, maybe I'm well off. Maybe my opinion is, like, drastically off, and maybe they would be tier 0 if we got all of their cards. I don't know. Wish we got at least one other Lure Fusion. One that isn't locked down, obviously. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good Lure Fusions we could get. The other one I would really like is Degradation, the Rider Knight. I think it would have been a really good card to have as, like, a finisher as well. Because right now, the deck is, like, a control deck that doesn't really have a finisher. You just kind of have to chip away at your opponent until you eventually kill them, right? Is that Hunter in the chat? Hello, hello, Hunter. Hello, what is your general feeling for the new box? I mean, we've kind of been talking about this whole time, but Worms, good. We'll see if they're great. At the moment, I'm going to hold off at good, but I think they have potential to be great for sure. Sky Savior, a little bit underwhelming. Metarian, a bit underwhelming. Is there another another box? Is there another, like, deck I'm forgetting about that was in the box? I genuinely can't remember. To be honest, I have only found Stardust and Dragoon in ranked. I mean, Dragoon, again, that's going to be most of your games. But again, a lot of the Stardust players are just people that net deck off of, like, DLM and then don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, I have beaten so many Stardust players when I look at it and I go, I could have beaten me if I was playing your side. You just made so many mistakes that I got a free win, right? So it's like, it's a weird one, right? It's a weird dynamic to have. From bad internet to an ad. Oh no, Isla, no. But okay, in the ads, we always pause. As long as we notice the ad, we always just like pause the stream. That's just what we do. I find Hero the most annoying to play against because circulation to circulation is so common. And at that point, it'd be hard to come back. That's fair, that's fair. It is quite an annoying one. I like the Persona music. Hello, Champ Dancer. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we got basically a rotating video game soundtrack playlist. That's the one. On basically, I mean, we got nearly 200 songs on here, so we never like get repeats usually in the same stream, but we got a lot of Persona in here. Good thing I cogged with Rebels before the box drop. The skill really made a difference at making the deck not just more consistent, but also better at grind games. I kind of wish they removed the you can only attack with one Rebel that has high attack directly restriction, because I find that unnecessary, but who knows. It's one of those things, though, where that deck already does so much that I think if you gave them the ability to attack directly, all of a sudden, you would just play as much back row hate as you could fit in the deck, and then just play Doom Metal Turbo, which, by the way, you can spam out every single turn, and OTK your opponent whenever you have the opportunity. So I don't think they can get rid of that as long as Doom Metal exists, which obviously Doom Metal's not going anywhere. It basically just makes the deck almost guaranteed to OTK your opponent, and your opponent now needs Star Pro to live, which I don't know. I don't like that personally, but I do really like the deck, so... links are only on mobile. Yeah, there we go. Konami should have limited circle to 1. I mean, yeah, I think 1 or 2 would have been good. I think circulation has been a bit silly for a while. Obviously, it used to be unlimited, which is still crazy to think of. Limited instead, not gonna lie. It just opens the Duel Links website on PC. Only works on mobile. Hello, Tomato. Hello, Skywings. Welcome, welcome. Do you think we might get Sky Saver fusions on Trader or tickets? Ugh. There is always a chance. The thing is, we're missing so many Sky Savior cards. I don't know if they're just gonna randomly throw a couple of them at us, or just do another wave in like another product that will come out at some point. So it's a tricky one. It's really hard to predict, really. Like 3 Soleil fusions, but only 1 Lua fusion is so annoying. Surprisingly, I faced a number of Metarian on the ladder. I mean, Metarian is a deck that keeps getting support again and again and again, right? A lot of the Metarian cards are available from deck build boxes, and a lot of people have Metarian back from when they were basically just the best deck in the game, and when they were used as a package in Gaia, because a lot of people were like, well, I've already got the Gaia deck for free, so I'm going to invest in Metarian. So Metarian is another one of those decks that just kind of everyone has, so it's not too surprising. Noodle, you forget. Yeah, but Noodle is like, it's like 1 card. I don't know, man. It's a weird one. But I suppose, realistically, Metarian is also 1 card, so... and Base Pyro. Oh, yeah, Splame. Splame is the card I keep forgetting about. Splame is... I like Splame. I just don't know if Splame is going to make a huge difference overall. There are Splame, Pyro Fusion Support, and Noodles. The Stardust don't know what they're doing and wins anyway. Well, the thing is, I feel like I shouldn't be able to beat Stardust players. But when I can keep getting wins back to back against them, I'm like... I think he's maybe made a mistake here. Hello, Tomato, Noodles, and Metarian. Hello, Alterius. Welcome, welcome. Because I am using the skill for its purpose with the Angels, so late it feels kind of awkward. Oh, we aren't in-game friends yet. Well, the thing is, I have so many... friends on my friends list. I keep having to like purge my friends list to just make room so I can have other people on it, because unfortunately there's a cap, which does get kind of annoying. It does annoy me a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Still waiting for Rovian and the Shaman Bandits. One day they will come out, Prophecy Phrase. It might be 2027, but one day they will come out. Honestly, I kind of agree with you about the Rebel still having the restriction from attacking directly. Not just Doom Metal will be a problem, but also Hard Rock. The thing is, Hard Rock can kill your opponent regardless if it attacks directly or not. So I don't know if that matters too much, to be honest. I just didn't see the way you explained it. That might make Rebels not fun to play against. It's all just Dark Galaxy with Chrysler at 3. I mean, basically, yeah, right? Any chance Sky Savior switch to the Avarice skill? I think Sky Saviors are more likely to swap to the DDD skill, or the DDDD skill. I think being able to grab a 2500 guy that pops a guy is really valuable to what their deck's trying to do, because you can get out like a double attacker, you can get out a guy that pops a guy out the way. Now suddenly that's like a respectable like 27 to like 5200 damage that you can pretty reliably get in, which actually seems pretty good. So I would expect that over Avarice, but I mean, it could be Avarice. We could get Avarice. Fusion is a must search for the deck. It is, but the deck also has so many ways to dig for Fusion that I don't know if it matters as much as, let's say, like a Metarian deck or a Hero deck, right? I think for those decks, you are mandatorily required to have a skill, because if you don't find Fusion, you don't do anything. In Sky Saviors, it almost feels like you'd be unlucky to not find one of your 3 Fusions with the amount of digging you've got. But it will still happen occasionally, right? But, I mean, it comes down to how valuable is like a plus that also breaks your opponent's board. Because I think that's going to be the issue that Sky Saviors is going to have a lot of the time, is the inability to break boards reliably, which, you know, Sky Savior skill is needed in case you need to empty spots in the field. Again, I don't think that's required. I don't think that matters. You just don't clog your board. You just change the way you build the deck, right? Like, fundamentally, I think the clearing your board aspect of the cards is better with the cards we don't have, right? There's a lot more cards that would be a lot more useful to send to the graveyard after we've used their effects that are the cards that are unreleased, such as, I think it's Spirit of the Sky Savior, stuff like that. Like, when we get them, suddenly it becomes a lot more powerful. How to outworm when they spam 5k piercing maximum every turn? At least that was my experience in the ladder. I mean, you just don't, right? You just lose. You can make one giant guy, but it comes down to if they have Destructor Claw Shield. If they have Destructor Claw Shield, suddenly it becomes a lot more difficult. But if they don't have that, just pop it, right? There are so many ways to just pop a monster, right? I think Sky Savior without the skill won't be playably consistent from watching how they play. I mean, I don't necessarily think Sky Savior is going to be a super consistent or powerful deck to begin with, to be honest. Like, sure, it'll be consistent in the sense that you can, like, get access to the fairies, you can get access to Fusion whenever you need, so you just need to find any, like, well, I say any, you still need to find, like, the correct main deck monsters to actually have it function. But it still needs to actively break boards, it needs ways to win games, it needs ways to, like, beat the top decks, and I'm just not convinced it will be able to do that consistently. Those Sky Saviors need Fusions to function, though. I mean, I guess for the skill draws you to 6. Yeah, I mean, the draw to 6 doesn't help you get Fusion. All it does is thin your deck effectively, but the board clear is legitimately really strong for current Sky Savior. I mean, I'll have to take your word for it, because I haven't played with it. I've seen people complain that the deck isn't very good. Like, that's the fundamental I've seen. Can I just want the deck to be as consistent as possible to see consistent plays instead of being another rogue that barely can achieve its own strategy consistently? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? We will have to wait and see. Let's hop over and talk about some of these bits and bobs that we've currently got to talk about. So, first things first, I guess we should do the OCG stuff first, because then we can, like, keep within the Duel Links sphere, right? So, first things first, we have next Psycho Jump promo, which is this thing. I don't know who this is, but this is Chaos Kampf Beast Leviathan. Leviatriton. I don't know about that. We don't know what it does yet, but it's neat. Not really a lot to say about it because we don't have an effect. Then we have Instant Fusion. I've seen some people say this is going to be a really powerful card. I don't know. What does Instant Fusion do in Rush? First off, it's your Legend, so you're not playing Plot of Greed. You're not playing Dark Hole. You're not playing Giant Trunade. You pay 1,000 life points, and you fusion summon a level 5 or lower fusion without fusion materials. What is, like, the best target for this? Like, what fusion monster is worth bringing out? Because, like, I feel like we're going to need something like a Norden, right? We're going to need a really powerful monster we can summon off this to make this worth it. Vitarian best deck. Hello, Promanicus. Welcome, welcome. So true. This is the first time in forever we get Rush exclusive as a promo. I mean, it makes sense to just keep having imports, to be honest, but rare fish coming to Rush. I mean, I'm having some fun with Sky Savior deck outs the Worm Max. Kind of important right now. I'm trying to think what they do to out the Worm Max. Oh, just the trap card, I guess? But then that just relies on you going first? I don't know. You have to let me know if there is something. Summon wins. The fusion with Spark and Avian. And Pot is still better. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if just summoning out... I mean, I guess. But that just makes this another copy of Miracle Fusion in a format where you can play 3 Miracle Fusion anyway. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually good. They're a good level 5 fusion rush. I don't know. I can't think of one. Insect fusion super poly targets with Delirium. Yeah, but is that worth giving up your legend spell slot for that? I don't know. Summon a Kitkalos. Bam. Kitkalos would be a good one, actually. If we could just get Kitkalos and rush. Bam. Easy peasy. But hello, Apple. Welcome, welcome. I'd rather play Harpy's Feather Duster than play Instant Fusion. I mean, I'd rather play Giant Trunade than Harpy's Feather Duster, personally, but... Voltic Wingman, Alchemized Orb, Bakuri Bot, a bunch of others. All of those sound awful to actually play, though. Like, I cannot see a reason to play this to summon any of those cards over playing Pot of Greed, Giant Trunade, Darkhold. Because, like, the way you have to think of it is... Like, if you went for, like, Alchemicalized Orb, that's piercing and a back row pop. You could just play Darkhold. Bam. I can now just take directly, I don't need piercing. Or you could play Giant Trunade. Bam, your back row's gone, and your back row pop. I don't know. It just doesn't seem good. None of those seem worth summoning. I can see Gradius players shoving Instant Fusion in their deck and make Ripple out of very little resources. I don't... If anything, you'd summon full custom with this. And even that, I don't think is necessary. I think the deck, like, it functions just fine. I don't think you need this. I'd rather have, like I say, Pot of Greed, or even maybe even a Power Bond if I'm feeling spicy. I can see some Gradius. Yeah, it's hard to make a legend spell. Pot and Graceful are just so good. Yeah, it's weird as well. Graceful Charity, I swear, used to just be in every single deck. And now Pot of Greed is in every single deck. It's almost like before we valued digging through the deck and getting the pieces that we needed, now we value the +1 because there are so many ways to dig through your deck. Which is like, it's really interesting how the format's kind of developed like that. Maybe Psychics could tech Instant Fusion? I mean, for what? For Candy All? But again, is that better than the other legend spells that we could have? I don't know. And the Fusion Card Attack? Exactly. This release probably because they will design cards archetype around it. I don't know if they'll build like a whole archetype around it. They'll probably put out a couple of cards that you could use with it. But I don't know. Like, my gut is like... Maybe they'll bring out Relinquished and Thousand Eyes Restrict, and that will be worth maybe using with this. But the only thing that really gets you is like non-destruction removal. And even that is a big if, right? Full custom card attacks, so it's kind of pointless. And yeah, it gets sent. It doesn't even get destroyed, so it wouldn't even get to be protected by its own effect. If it even... It might show to be the opponent's effects as well. Yeah, this is just... It's just mid. I don't know, it's just bad. I don't like this card. Wish they would reveal a decent target alongside, because it's kind of mid. What level are the X, Y, Z fusions? That is a question. I mean, we could probably have a look, right? Oh, that's the wrong one. No, not set spoilers. Why can't I click today? We could probably find one of them. The issue is I don't know which articles they're in. I bet this isn't going to tell us any of them, is it? No, it just tells us the pink one. Well, that's not helpful. Union base? Maybe it'll tell you in here. Nope. I give up. I don't care. I don't care. This card mid. Bad card. Don't want it. Get out of my face. Now, YY Rush Party. This is a weird one. I would genuinely like to play this. But outside of, like, tabletop simulator, I don't know how I would play this, right? That's kind of how I feel with this. The only, like, actual strong target is Bakuri bot, and the other options add flexibility, but raw value is nothing special. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems really mid. Commander? I mean, I think calling this Commander is a disservice to Commander, right? As someone that actively plays Commander, this is definitely not Commander. First off, you can only attack in one direction, which is very restrictive, right? You don't actually have a Commander. Also, deck building is extraordinarily restrictive, whereas in Commander, it's very flexible. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. And then obviously there's the whole spell deck that is shared between players in the middle, which is very interesting. I was trying it for a short while in Pledge, but performed horribly. The 1k cost is also horrendous. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually, especially in this format. Cross duel-ish rush duel. I mean, again, cross duel is a weird game where, because of the lane system, you can only attack each player in, like, specific ways, and attacking down the middle is always weird because there's the cross intersection, so you might want to be like, oh, no, attack the guy across from me, but I'm going to get intercepted by the guys at the side. It's very weird. It's very weird. Finally, rush duel is good. I think this is a cool idea, and like I said, I would like to play this, but realistically, I feel like this was cooked up just so Konami had a fun little game that they could introduce players with, and they could be like, oh, you've got like a group of people, we can get them all in together. Because obviously, playing with only normal monsters kind of sucks. I think if you were to make this like a thing, if we were going to try and push this as an actual mode, realistically, you'd have to incorporate effect monsters. We'd probably want to have trap cards in here in some way. I would probably curate an actual trap ban list. I do kind of like the spell deck in the middle, but again, it's very awkward because the way it's obviously designed is they will have a pre-constructed, like, 30 cards selected to go into this deck to make sure everything works. Because what you could do, for example, is put a load of cards in that only work with your deck if you got to choose, right? So let's say the deck works by each player choosing, I don't know, like 10 of their own spells and then putting them in. That doesn't work because I would then put a bunch of spells that, like, only work with, let's say, worm cards, for example. And then no one else is playing worms. So if they draw them, they're dead in their hand and they can't do anything with them. And if I draw them, I get to play the game. And if everyone does that exact same thing, it's just not going to work. It's going to be horrendous, right? Like, it's so awkward. Got to head off. Unfortunately, thanks for having me. It was a blast to see you stream at first time. Have a great stream and good luck on the worm gates. Thanks for stopping by, Prophecy Phrase. Always a pleasure. Hot take. Cross duel was a terrible concept. I disagree. I think alternate formats are cool. I think the concept of let's play a free-for-all 4-player Yu-Gi-Oh game is really cool. I think a lot of the mechanics they put into Cross Duel were really interesting. I think overall, the execution was not great. I think if you tweak some of the rules, you tweak some of the cards that were in it, I think Cross Duel could have been really, really, really cool. It's just, Cross Duel had a sandbagging problem where you would just, everyone would like dogpile the weakest player, or who they'd perceive to be the weakest player a lot of the time, because most of the time people didn't actually care about winning, they just cared about not losing, which is, it's a way to play, but unfortunately that's just the way that the game worked. But that's just, it almost incentivized that in a way. On top of that, Cross Duel had an issue where it ran like garbage, and would drain your phone's entire battery. So unless you were playing on an emulator, you were going to have a rough time anyway. So, like, it's a tricky one. Big disagree. It just shouldn't have been a gacha game. I mean, let's be honest. If you're playing a mobile game, there is a 95% chance it is going to be gacha in some way, right? It was an okay concept, but Konami made it way too pay to win. Kinda. It's one of those weird ones, but I didn't mind the monetization aspect of it too much. I think as long as you kept playing, as long as you were playing it all the time, you did your dailies, you were playing matches regularly, you got to keep up. The issue was the first like week or two you were behind until you caught up. That was the issue for me. Also, it was very random. So like if you just pulled the cards you wanted, excellent, you're good to go. If you didn't, well, you were behind for a bit, right? Or for even longer than you wanted to be. I think it depends on what the spell deck actually is, because you could easily read into spell cards specific for these rules. Yeah, I think you'd have to have generic... You'd have to have a generic pile of cards that work for everyone all the time. I think that's the only way to make this like actually work. But hello, Brad. Welcome, welcome. So the best targets for instant fusion are Please for 1700 debuff or Harpy fusion for a free back row pop. But a free back row pop is just worse than a giant Trunade or a Heavy Storm or a Harpy's Feather Duster, right? So that's not even worth it. So it'd just be the 1700 debuff, because... But even then, you play Dark Hole, right? I don't know. It's a weird one. I think you need more value than that. As being custom cards for this only. If they released specifically custom cards for this, in the same way that we sort of have, like, speed spells for the, what were they, Turbo Duels in 5Ds, like, that would be interesting. But it's still, because it's a shared deck, and because they all have to be generic, it really dissuades having, like, archetypes, and having decks that function together, which I suppose is why they've just asked you to just spam normal monsters, right? But it's still weird. It's still very, very strange. We need Dating Sim, the Yu-Gi-Oh game back, aka Cross Duel and Tag Force. Oh, Tag Force. I've only actually played the first Tag Force game. I've only played the very first one. But I love that game so much. I really, really enjoyed, like, being in Duel Academy. I really enjoyed playing with all the other characters. I really enjoyed the kind of the RPG aspects of it. I enjoyed deck building in it. I think that game was just a really solid game. And then, like, the anime cutaways mid-duel were also really, really good. The only things I didn't like about it was, I think, the tag dueling being forced is a bit yikes, just because most of the time your AI companion is utter garbage and is playing a deck made entirely of garbage. So it's just like, I just have to randomly hope that the AI partner doesn't mess everything up as we go into the next turn. Beyond that, I guess it was not... The game didn't make it, like, overly clear what relationship status you had to get to have someone as your tag partner. So the very first time I played it, I think I got, like, a game over because I didn't have enough reputation with anyone to be my partner. And it was just like, well, you lose. You go back and try again. It was like, oh, okay. That was a bit jarring. Obviously, you all start with the exact same water deck in that game as well. So that was also a bit rough. But, like, I think those... I really like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games. I think I've just always really, really enjoyed them. You can imagine doing Doom Metal in this format. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing as well. Because I did a video about this format as well, where we were talking about what happens if you board wipe. Like, if it says destroy all monsters on my opponent's field, do I pick an opponent? Or do I hit all of them simultaneously, right? They never really clarified it. Today, Legend Spell is kinda a bad design to be. I, personally, I have never liked Legend Spells. I don't like the fact they're a one-off, because that makes them feel very sacky. I don't like the amount of power that they have. A lot of the time, I have lost rush duels because of a Legend Spell. It doesn't feel satisfying. If I lose because my opponent, like, did a big sick combo and blew me up, that feels like... Like, it doesn't feel great because you're still losing, but it feels like oh, at least their deck did what it was meant to do. When you lose to, like, Giant Trunade, when you lose to Dark Hole, when you lose to, you know, Pot of Greed into then popping off, it just feels kind of gross. Or the worst ones, actually, is like Mirror Force, Drowning Mirror Force. What's the other Mirror Force? Storming Mirror Force. Like, those ones, they all feel awful. Because a lot of the time, you don't get the luxury of playing around them. It depends what the situation of the board state is, what life points are, what your opponent is likely to do on the following turn. So a lot of the time you have to walk into them. And losing to Legends feels like shit. It's the exact same reason that in Cardfight Vanguard, I despise the Oath Trigger. I don't like that there is a one-of card in your deck that on its own can, doesn't always, can just win you the game. And that annoys me to no end. But anyway, that's my little rant over. They released a new legend, but I think whatever, I'm still going to use Pot. It comes down to, are they going to bring out new decks with new limit ones already stuck onto them? Obviously for Worms, they haven't done that, right? But they could do what they did with Gearpod and just release a new deck and be like, hey, limit 1 immediately. So if you want to play this deck how we want it to be played, you can't use Pot, right? But we'll see what they end up doing. A custom spell will surely be made for this event. I mean, I don't think so, because I think that would require them to put more effort into it, and I don't think they're planning to do that. Call of the Fusion would have been nice for Sky Savior. Hello, Champ Dancer. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cards that would have been really nice for that deck. I think, personally, I still think they should have released every single Sky Savior card. I don't think there's a reason to hold any of them back, to be honest. We need the DS games back, World Championship, and those were fun story, mini-games and stuff. I've never played any of the... Well, for DS, I played the GX ones. I played Spirit Caller, and I played one more GX one. I forget what it was. A hot take, Konami, make another Dungeon Dice game, please. Dungeon Dice Monsters, personally, I think is not a good game. I would like to see a new game based on Dungeon Dice Monsters that fixes the problems that Dungeon Dice Monsters has. I think the best parts of Dungeon Dice Monsters is the unfolding your dice and making a path to get to your opponent. Though that mechanic specifically is really, really good. I think no other game has like captured that mechanic or used that mechanic in any like meaningful way. I think Dungeon Dice Monsters is still the only one. So if we could build more on that and less on a lot of the others. The one thing I don't like is I don't like the crests being attached to the dice. Because what it means is you end up with like not enough movement to do anything, and sometimes you're like, I could win the game if I had an attack crest, but the dice just aren't giving me attack crests, so I can't attack. I think that sort of mechanic is dumb. So I would remove the crests from the dice, replace them with something else, and then basically have each guy can like move a certain amount of tiles, they can attack a certain amount of times a turn. That's what I would do personally. Hello, Lost Memory. Welcome, welcome. I'm still sad Vanguard 0 got end of service. I mean, it was sort of on its way out, if we're being honest. Again, I'm also sad about it, but in my mind, the only way to like reinvigorate it would have either to be going on to V series, which I think a lot of people didn't want to do, or to reset it, which I think actually a lot of more people would have been more open to, but it feels bad to lose all the progress that you've made in it, right? So I don't know how they would have kept it going indefinitely, outside of just doing V-Series, which, again, at the time wasn't performing super great. Brogo played the 3DS game already? No! At least Sky Savior is better than XQE. I mean, we have that, right? Tag Force Evolution, I played Into the Ground. Hello, Sakadetsu. Welcome, welcome. I'm curious, have you ever played Daughters of the Roses? Yes, I own Daughters of the Roses. I have it downstairs right now. I could go and grab it if I so felt inclined. It's a really good game, and I really, really like it. Have you... I hope you have a great day. Came to see Worm gameplay. Well, we'll be doing some Worm gameplay in a minute. We've almost finished with our yappy bit. I think I played both 5DS ones for DS, Reverse of Arcadia, and Over the Nexus. Nice, nice. There was 3, yeah. Oh, yeah, Stardust, etc. I never played any of those 3. Right. Moving on from this topic, let's check out the event itself. So we have some new cards. First up, we have Destructor Twin Princesses Horde Chow. I believe I've been told this is pronounced Horde Chow. It's a silent T, and apparently the whole SSES at the end is also silent. So, presuming I got that right, Twin Princess's Horde-Chow. So, this card is not great right now. I think the only reason to make this would be very specifically to protect your equip spell. And even then, the best target for the equip spell is a maximum, so you wouldn't be able to have this out at the same time anyway. So it's like, eh. You say horny chow? No, Horde-Chow. Come on, man. I believe in you. I have an English accent, so it shouldn't be too difficult to understand. Not the monk chanting song. We like the monk chanting song. If this was a contact fusion, it'd be good. I mean, you could say that about every fusion, right? Like, contact fusion in general is just really, really strong. But the big thing right now is that people aren't even playing Nika or Boka for the most part. So, it's just not fantastic. And this will be a lot better if we get, like, Giant Trunade. But until we get that, I don't know, man. And even if we get Giant Trunade, this could also potentially be okay if we get, like, Riser? But even then, I don't know. And then Harken. This is the card that is actually seeing a lot of play now. This is a card I wasn't sure about. I did have this in one of my day one builds, but not in the other. I think this card's value increases if you're planning to just remove Nika and Boka entirely. Because you need something else to take their spot, and Harken is probably the next best card, realistically. The two S's are not silent, just the last one. I see, I see. I mean, I assume it's French. I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no idea what language it is. I never make this fusion a single time. Well, again, why would you, right? I'm glad someone calls Daughters of the Rose is a good game, because I've watched a good number of reviews who found the game confusing or pretty hard to get used. Well, I played it when I was a child, so I just, like, ran my head into it until I fully understood it, right? Also, Tomato Ran Effect, Horde-Chow is a French word historically referring to breeches or trunk hose covering the waist to the knees. Interesting. Interesting. The relevant use case we found to prevent primal roar in the mirror, but then they pop it first so they can fire it after. It protects the shady. Yeah, I mean, I guess that works. It's interesting. So WYRM have now both fusions and maximums in one deck. Yes! But I think it's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh game is still Falsebound Kingdom. I mean, I've still never played Falsebound Kingdom, but it looks very awkward and slow, so I don't know if I want to. Spelled Hat de Seuss. Good old Hat de Seuss. The WYRM player that won yesterday wasn't on Nika and Boka. No, it was Sak won yesterday, and he was not playing either. It's French, yeah. Harken's value increases with the maximum variant of worms. I don't think it matters, to be honest. Realistically, I think Harken will get the same amount of value regardless of what version of worms you're playing. It's just good. So cool. After Asana and after Asana have both fusion and maximum, I was hoping to use both, but it still can't with looks of this worm. Maximum Bros Arise is finally your title. Finally your time. Let's take a look at the box. So, Destructor of Explosion. Obviously, we're missing a lot of the Sky Savior stuff, which is a bit disappointing, but, like, Barkama is interesting. It's quite expensive, but it's still pretty good. I think the best way to use this is probably just to fuse it off from hand after you've used it for skill, using Dragoon. We got Matarian Fusion, which, again, is a good card. It's a good card. It needed to come out a while ago, realistically. It's a bit of a shame that it's out so late. We need a new skill to make this really good, and ideally we need the extra deck limit increased, but we'll see what happens with it. Watch is an awkward card. Like, I quite like Watch, but it can be quite restrictive. But depending on how we're playing the deck, maybe the restriction won't matter as much. I've yet to still see what, like, the Sky Savior quote-unquote end board looks like. So maybe this will just be completely fine. Obviously, you're going to want to play this for the skill either way, right? And then Extra Meat is just... I like Extra Meat. I think Extra Meat is a cool boss, but it's just not going to be good enough, I don't feel. I just don't see a reason to play Noodles, especially with the limit on how many times you can fusion in a turn. It just feels very underwhelming, which is very disappointing. Then we've got Fadral, who right now, this has been seeing some play in XQT and in 4D, which is like fine. I don't know if this card is going to end up being a mainstay, but I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good generic if you can play dragons or just any low levels, right? 1 year ago, this card would have made a difference. Exactly. I associate Bahamut with Bahamut from the FF. Well, in the original translation, it was Blast Hamut rather than Bahamut, which again is it's both just a reference to Bahamut, right? But Bahamut isn't just a Final Fantasy thing. Extra meat might go. Noodle Bros Fadral is pigeon support. I mean, if you say so. Noodles hit with kebab now. I mean, the biggest issue Extra Meat has is we can only fusion once per turn. And why would you not make the fusion that pops a guy out the way and also brings back a 2200 guy from the graveyard? Why would you make this one instead that just burns and draws a card? It's just, you would almost never go into this outside of the burn is going to kill my opponent, or it's turn 1 and I can afford to do this, right? And just, I'm going to dig for traps. Outside of that, there's no real reason to go into it, so I don't really like it. Explosive Destructor Worm Dangerous Barkhamut is a really good card. Destroy one face-up card in your field and 1 or 2 monsters in your opponent's field. That on its own is good. But you also get to burn your opponent, which is quite nice. A very strong fusion monster. Especially because we can summon this off of Dragoon, which is very, very important. Again, Nika, we've already spoke about this a bit. Not seeing as much play. I don't know if this will end up being in the main build that we end up using, but we'll have to wait and see. Phantasm Mask Master is just bad. I personally don't like this card at all. I don't think I will run this when I eventually do try out Metarian, but you guys should be experimenting with it and let me know if it ends up being good. Start at the beginning. This card is a little bit underwhelming right now. Realistically, as of right now, not a huge fan of this card. But when we get Pledge later on, this card will be very, very good. Infinite Heavy Cavalry Build Dragoon, absolutely fantastic card. This card is crazy, crazy good. I think a lot of people underestimated how good this card was going to be, but this card is insanely good. Getting the draw and getting a fusion from your hand is really, really important. Degrace, this is probably, again, I haven't played it. I haven't played Sky Saviors yet. In my mind, this is like the best fusion monster. This is the best one you're going to have. This is your win con. This is how you clear your opponent's board. This is how you get your damage in. It's all on Degrace, which is what feels a bit weird because it feels like it's all on Degrace. Then there's Splame. I think Splame is a nice little extra tool, but it's not going to drastically change how any of the decks play. And then Soleil and Lua, yeah, the Sky Savior girls, right? I thought you would like the game, the JRPG turn-based combat style, attacks, skills, items, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, the issue is, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's a good JRPG. It looks more like it is a, I don't want to call it like shovelware, but it's like we've just taken the Yu-Gi-Oh brand and we slapped it onto something that isn't very Yu-Gi-Oh-y, and we've put some very mediocre mechanics onto it. That's kind of how I've always looked at it. Flavor Inspector being reprinted is nice for its worth. I mean, yeah, that's nice. Can't complain with that. Beginning looks at worst version of Starry Star. I hate pay life points in this format. I really don't think the paying life point aspect is the bad part of this card. I think it's just that the rest of the effect just isn't better than what we already have. Initially, I misunderstood Build Dragoon. I thought you contribute it by attributing one monster in max mode, but it's just attributing one max piece, which is insane. Yeah, I think a lot of people have misunderstood that. I've tried to correct them whenever, you know, I've noticed them saying that, but because you, obviously I've played with this in OCG, and OCG can distribute a side piece, right? So I didn't have to worry about it too much. Definitely the level 10 is the best card in the box. Yeah, in my opinion, this card is absolutely insane. Like, so good. I don't think we really need to talk about most of the rest of this. We'll talk about Wish, I guess. Wish is probably the strongest... I gotta choose my word carefully here. Wish is now in contention for the strongest trap card. I think Wish now goes in the pile with Shady and Star Pro. There are some situations where Shady is better than Wish. And there are some situations where Wish is better than Shady. And Star Pro is sort of in its own little bubble. where depending on the format, depending on the matchup, it can be way, 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 way better than either of these, or way, way, way worse than both of these, right? But Wish is still, like, really, really powerful. Genius Star, best card. A trap that sets a spell that's live because the trap stacks the deck. That card is crazy. It's good. Absolutely. It's a fantastic trap card. The issue is, you're setting up your next turn, and you have to really hope that your next turn play actually accomplishes something, right? Because this deck also, I feel like, can just be really vulnerable to trap cards itself, which I think can be a bit tricky. But again, until I've actually played it, it's just speculation at this point, right? Low rarity card. Oh, it's just a rare. Now, Tomato, please explain the lore behind Star Savior based around the card art. No. Alright, so this is something else I want to talk about. So this is Apple, or Apaki. And Apaki is a player that for a long time has been well known and well liked in the Japanese Rush Duel community. For his takes and his opinions and stuff. This is his day one tier list. Which, I mean, guys, what do we think, guys? Again, day one tier list, so not much data to go on. There are some choice decisions in here, in my opinion. For example, do we think Metarian is on the same level as Music Princess and Royal Rebels? I'm not sure about that one. At the same time, do we think Gradius has dropped so far that it is now in D rank, along with DDDD, by the way, and suddenly Dark Magician and Noodle are on the same power level as them? I don't know, man. It's, I think some decisions were made here. Worm's already in S, Metarian in C. Noodle Ninja is too high. Worm tier 0, they best deck. Exactly. See, Shui knows. I think in most cases, Wish is better than any other trap card in the current format, since at least with Shady, you can still tribute summon whatever gets flipped face down. You know to play around it. Wish is hard to play around because whatever summon you invest will get removed from the field. I think you're looking at it in a too simplistic way, Kurosama. Depending on the situation, gaining life points off of Shady can be very, very valuable. Also, when playing Shady, a lot of the time you can clog your opponent's board up. And that is something that should not be undervalued. Shady, in some situations, is much, much better than Wish. And in some situations, is much, much worse than Wish. It will entirely depend on the deck that you're playing against. And it will depend on the situation you find yourself in, the monsters you hit, etc, etc. Plus, being able to hit 2 monsters, a lot of the time is extremely valuable. Whereas only being able to hit 1 monster, even if you do get rid of it, still can be very awkward. We've already seen that with Tower, right? Crisis at the Sacred Tower, or whatever the new one's called. Either way, that card is a lot more expensive than Wish, but fundamentally sort of does the same thing. That puts it to the bottom of the deck versus, you know, puts it in the graveyard. But fundamentally, it's a trap card that gets rid of a monster versus trap card that flips 2 down. And depending on the matchup, we already did see that one was better than the other, right? Gradius went to D tier. Again, just in Apaki's opinion. Just in his opinion. No D-Linker fake list. No. Definitely no. Yes, this song makes me want to play Mario Odyssey. It was a good song. It's a good song and a good game. You should play Mario Odyssey. Hero is definitely A. I agree with that. I think I would definitely bump Hero up to be at least on par with Dark Galaxy. I might bring Worm down. But again, it's still very early days, so it's hard to judge the new decks. I actually think Music Princess is also potentially in contention for that A tier as well. But again, it's still kind of a new meta. We're still kind of getting our feel for it. DM, but no Sky Saver. Hello, Zorak. Welcome on in. I mean, I personally think Sky Savior would be lower than D. But also Dark Magician should be lower than D. So are they ranking purely on popularity? No. This is power. A Royal Rebel maybe C, and Metarian is definitely D. Yeah, I think the only thing is when we start mixing around the top ones, it then gets a bit funky, right? Because like, is S tier? if we don't have like a tier 0, does S tier matter? Like, do we just empty the S tier? Obviously, you know, Worms could end up being like just the best deck in the game, right? So maybe it deserves S tier, but... Metarian and DDDD in C? I assume you didn't mean Metarian, since you just said you want Metarian in D. And Metarian and Rebels together feels poetic. That's it. Is that just because they're the decks that you like a human? No Seven's Road? Yeah, that was also very strange. I think Seven's Road should definitely be in the conversation. More than Dark Magician at the very least. I don't know why Dark Magician and Noodles are here. Just LARPing that they should be on a tier list. I guess because most of the decks I play lose to Wish more and Shady. It comes down to, again, if you only play ladder, different traps are better, right? So, if you are a ladder... I don't know if you are a ladder-only player, Kurosama. But if you are a ladder-only player, different trap cards are going to hold massively different value. Like, for example, a lot of the time I find that Star Pro is a lot less good on ladder, but a lot better in tournament play, right? I have the song just makes me want to play it again. Bam, do it. I believe. Royal Rebel and DDDD in C. Sevens is kind of the worst of the C. I agree. I think Sevens is... Sevens could be a D, to be honest. It could be like top of D as well. I wouldn't mind that. But I think it probably should be in C. Again, I haven't really thought about my tier list. I don't like to do day 1 tier list because I feel like a day 1 tier list is just like I played a few games and these are my vibes, right? And I'm not a big vibes tier list guy. I like logic, data, facts. I'm a nerd, right? I want that rather than like the vibe of, oh, I played this deck one time and it won a game, therefore best deck. I don't know. I feel like you never really get enough of the picture on the first day. That's why I always try and tell people, even if a deck is absolutely stomping day 1, it does not mean it's going to be absolutely fantastic the whole way through, right? Yeah, I mean, I played ladder, never played tourney. There you go, though. I mean, it's one of those things where if you play ladder, especially on the climb, like not in King of Games, you tend to play against the same decks again and again and again and again. Like, whenever I climb on ladder, I'm always like, oh man, something that isn't Seven's Road, Hero, and like Galaxy. This is an exciting game. I get to play against something new. What's S tier on your list? I don't know what these picks are. So this is a Parky's tier list. S tier for me... So I would first off have it as like tier 1. My tier 1 right now is going to be Dark Galaxy, Hero, probably Music Princess as well. I think Music Princess is good enough that it should either be top of tier 1 or bottom of tier 1 or top of tier 2. That's my feeling on it. Gradius is the weird one because I personally still rate Gradius very, very highly. The question becomes, do I still think Gradius is an automatic tier 1? Because Gradius is still a really strong deck. It did lose like a little bit of its consistency, a little bit of its... It didn't really lose any ceiling per se, but like losing that consistency really hurts getting to that ceiling, right? So I still think Gradius is at the very least in a similar spot to Music Princess, where it's either bottom of tier 1, top of tier 2. That's kind of how I look at Gradius right now. Bring vibes to it. Just off of vibes alone, my feeling about Worms is Worms is currently a tier 1. But again, that's just a vibe pick. That's just, it's won 2 tournaments. It's won a handful of games. People seem to like it. People are saying it's strong. Right now, public opinion, it's a tier 1 deck. As for Sky Saviors, I mean, it's very controversial, right? We've had some people saying it's the best deck in the game. Or maybe that's a bit far. It's a bit hyperbolic. We've had people saying it can be very, very, very strong. We've had people saying it's awful and complete garbage. So, for that deck, my gut feeling is bottom of tier 3, maybe top of High Rogue. That is kind of where I would put it right now. But again, vibe-based rankings are vibe-based rankings, right? Song of Storms. Are we ranking based on how effective it is against the Worm maximum? No. Why is ladder only DM for me? Found like 4 yesterday. I occasionally will find a DM on ladder, but I don't find them all the time. But every time I do, I'm always like, It feels like you're playing its old Dark Galaxy, where you go, I'm going to do my board, and if they just open the hand, I am just dead. There's nothing I can do about it. But if they don't open the hand, this should be a free win, right? And that's how I feel when I play Dark Magician now, where I'm like, please don't have the hand, because otherwise I'm dead and I can't really stop it. But if you don't have the hand, I'm going to destroy you next turn, right? That's kind of how I always feel against it. Let's make a tier list just for fun. I mean, we kind of just did, right? I mean, I'm currently using Stardust with the Centurion engine. I mean, you got to remember, though, right now we're talking about Rush, right? We're looking at the Rush tier list. We're looking at the Rush meta. We got a new Rush box to come out. In terms of speed, I mean, it's Stardust, right? Stardust tier 0, Stardust tier 0. We have literally just had a tier list update as well. Music Princess is still good in this meta. I have not tested it myself. Well, Music Princess obviously got the buff of action getting unlimited. Or... Yeah, action got unlimited, which was a pretty big buff. Now, has it made it, like, super, super strong? Yeah, but it's made it definitely stronger than it was for sure. Also being realistic, heroes are the ladder deck of choice. So mostly I won't face Worms or Sky Savior unless they happen to be the new meta contenders. But surprised me is last gold rank ladder experience, I faced a good number of people playing Rebels, because I used to see no one, and I mean no one play Rebels whatsoever. It's because Rebels is quite a difficult deck to build, because it's got a lot of URs spread amongst a whole bunch of different boxes, so a lot of people just don't bother with it. Baseless decks, tomato tier list based on decks, themes, or vibes when. We did one of those before. We did a base to cringe tier list, and we did one for speed, and we did one for rush a long, long time ago. We could update that at some point, right? I don't know why auto mod is like, I don't like that message, and I'm like, I don't know. Is it because you had the word nut? It's you wrote the word nut, and my auto mod was like, whoa, there might be profanity in here. I'm like, auto mod, calm down. Got a filthy mind, auto mod. What are you doing? But yeah, we could totally do a tier list update at some point. I'm not sure when though. I don't like how new character with a different deck has just been reduced to older Worm Max. I want to see more just Fireworm. I mean, they knew what they were doing, right? Realistically, they knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. So the thing is, it is somewhat true to how it was played in the OCG. The issue is, in the OCG, it never really saw a ton of play because it wasn't that good. But I kind of like that we're building on the old, and most of this deck is brand new cards, right? Like, what in here is old cards? It's literally the maximum, right? The rest of it is all brand new stuff, which I think is pretty cool. I've been thinking about a tier list, but it really is just too early to see how much Worm can handle Shady, but I do think it outclasses a lot of decks like Dark Galaxy. Well, there we go then. Bam. Straight from a former Worlds competitor himself. DM in a nutshell, one turn kill your opponent, or your opponent one turn kills you. Exactly. Automod being Automod. Top 5 in the moment to me looks like Worms, Hero, Dark Galaxy, Music Princess, and Gradius. I think I agree with that. Yeah, I think I solidly agree with that. I mean, that's basically the list that I literally said earlier, right? Then after that, it would be like DDDDD, Rebels, and then Red Boot or High-Tech Dragons, I guess. Probably be what's after that. And then it starts to get a bit murky. Then we're like, ooh, where are we going with this? I guess like Sevens also goes after that. That's like my top 9. I don't know what my 10th best deck would be. Like, maybe we throw Matari in a boat and let them play. I hope I'm not too late. Hello, King John. Welcome. Has anyone tried playing a pure possible Earthworms with the new skill? Not yet. I mean, I'm planning to, but I want to play the more competitive version of the deck first, and then later on play the other versions. But I have a list that I made during our last stream. if I find it quick. Again, I would probably edit this list a bit, because this is like, you know, before we got to see what some of the cards could do. But this was the list that we made before. So now, this isn't necessarily like pure earthworms, but it does have the earthworms in it, right? This is the Bill Dragon, the Gantry Dragon, and then the combo is use these to, or use the skill targets not to fuse off, but just to have them to use the skill. And then we can go Gantry into build, into spiral, sit on autumn leaves. Everyone's got piercing, everyone's massive, right? But this is still very fire, right? We're still playing Nika and Boka in this list, which, again, now in hindsight, I might not play Nika Boka. So, we are also in an ad break, so we're just going to let the ads tick away. Got some lovely ice in my thermos. Try and keep the water nice and cool on this very hot day. I've got the desk fan right here, blowing cold air at me. Trying to stay cool. Welcome back from the edges, everyone. Let's try and catch up with the chitty chatty and then get back into everything. But from experience, from testing the cards out before they came out here, thanks to other methods, their boss monsters is really effective, so much so that it can even counter the old Dark Sea Serpent that used to dominate Rush. What? The Dark Sea Serpent that used to dominate Rush. Are we talking about OCG Rush? And then we must be talking about the maximums? Even them, they were only really super powerful for like a month, maybe 2, before they kind of got out-crept. And then like a different version of Sea Serpents became stronger. To be honest, Fire Worms didn't do anything new. They basically just kind of do Metal Turbo with higher cost and big fusions. Meanwhile, Maximum Worms didn't see crazy plays. I think that is an oversimplification, personally. If we go back and take a look, the Fire Worm fusion monster can pop face down cards, which you can't do as Royal Rebels. That's kind of the Royal Rebel weakness has always been face down cards, which is why in the OCG, when we got Prog Rock, or Progressive, that was huge, right? So in the same way, Barkama already deals with face down monsters, which is a big, big difference. Earthworms, Earthworm Gem. But some of the cards that are missing from the game are Darkness, Phantom, and therefore the Darkness fusion of Blastomer, and we're missing a ton of the other non-major fusion. I mean, yeah, it would make sense. For me, I would really like the rerun event to give us Darkness Phantomite and Darkness Sparkler. But they deliberately left some of the worms out, which makes me think we're actually not going to get that, and instead they're going to give us some of the more generic worm cards. So like if we just go to Fire Worm, we go not released. We make this a bit more palatable. We're missing these normal monsters, which actually no, you're right. Actually, these normal monsters haven't come out anywhere yet, which is still a bit weird. That is actually very strange. Why haven't these cards come out? But the cards that we specifically haven't got yet, we haven't got Depot, and we haven't got Foot Soldier. So these are probably just going to be the rerun cards, because like why else would they just not release these already, right? Which is a bit boring, personally. I'd much rather have Darkness Sparkler. Look at him, he's beautiful. He's also not a dark card, even though I feel like he should be. That is what Speed Player won't ever get about us, to be honest. We're already discussing for like 3 to 5 good decks after being meta. Will they have to live under tier 0 so 2-1 deck? I don't think that is a Speed Player thing, though. So I am always going to push back on this. I don't like the us versus them, right? I don't like Speed versus Rush. I don't like TCG versus, you know, Rush duels. I don't like Master Duel versus Duel Links. I don't like any of that. I think all of the games are cool. I like all of the modes. So I'll always try and push back whenever people are trying to like put down people that play the other formats, because I don't know, it's not productive. It's literally tribalism, and I don't like tribalism. So I'm always going to be pushing back on that whenever I see it, personally. Ice baby, exactly Sakadetsu. We need to stay cool in these horrid heat waves. Okay, but Rush bad because not speed, so your opinion invalidated. Exactly. I don't know. I don't. The thing is, a lot of the time it's punching down, right? So TCG players punch down on Master Duel players. Master Duel players punch down on Speed Duel Links players. Speed Duel Links players punch down on Rush Duel Links players. And Rush Duel Links players, we don't get to punch anyone because we are at the bottom of the totem pole. But, like, you also see people punching up as well, which I think is not... It's not okay to punch up just because you're, like, outnumbered or because you can punch up. Right? I don't know. It doesn't, like, validate it. It just seems weird to me. Yeah, I'm referring to Phaser's deck. Yeah. Good old Phaser. I'm sorry, I just think... it's just that in Rush history, along with the Seven's Gift, the Dark Sea Serpent maximum deck is basically the equivalent of Dragon Rulers over there. I don't know about that. There was a period of time where the Dark Sea Serpent maximum monsters were very, very powerful. And then shortly after that, we got Vocalized Phoenix, which was also reasonably strong in OCG. But then Maximum sort of fell off after that. I'm trying to think if any of them were actually, like, really good. Like, we had the Blaze Fiend Maximum that, like, didn't really end up accomplishing much. I'm trying to think what other Maximums we had at the time. It was it was a completely different wave when we got the Dinosaur Maximum update, so that one doesn't count. If I had to guess, they'll probably release all of the Darkness cards and all the Prime cards in a future box together, since they literally counterparts. I think they could do that, but the fact that we've already gotten a couple of Dark Matter cards and, like, Zuijo's Contact Fusions makes me think they could just do it whenever they want, however they want. It seems like they don't really care about, like, make sure it, like, matches to the anime. I think they're just going to kind of do... They're going to put the way that they consider game balance above everything else. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to balance the game, but it means the way that they want the game to be balanced is the most important thing to them. Hello, Jay Strong. Welcome. Finally, a draw card for Dragons. Excellent. I'm sure you're very happy with that. I don't even know if that card will see play in high tech. I don't know. Maybe it will. Ranked Ward, everything you said is basically format versus format, which is stupid. I play TCG and Speed, and Zero Gem Rush is fine. Yeah, I like all of them. I like all the formats. I think I want to play more formats, right? Don't get me wrong, there are formats I don't like, and formats I like less, but I'm not going to, like, belittle the people that play those formats, right? Just straight up. I think I want people to play all the formats. I want people to come over and play my format. Genesis. I like Genesis format. Genesis format's cool. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I still think it's a cool format. I basically have a really toxic monarchy going around. I mean, kind of. Rush fix ritual summons. I don't know if fix is the right word. I think they've made them a lot more palatable, but they've done it in a really boring way. So I think there was a way to make it really interesting and really fun. But instead, we got the most... what's the word I'm looking for? We got the way to make them playable and less confusing without having to change too many mechanics in the simplest way possible. And that's kind of like, I mean, it's fine, but it is what it is, right? To be honest, Wish of Outer Verse is pretty powerful, especially for decks. The thing is, though, you're talking about a deck that is not part of that maximum wave support, as well as Outerverse is a really, really powerful fusion deck, not a very, very powerful maximum deck. So, like, it's kind of a weird one. Like, when we've looked at Outerverse tournament results and where it's been performing really, really well, it is the fusion version of the deck. The maximum version of the deck is realistically not doing a ton, right? Maximum Sea Serpent only won Galaxy Cup and never had relevance outside of that. It was always a mid-range build up until Tiamat. Yeah, the Tiamat version of that deck, crazy. That deck spins plates like no other. That deck just keeps going and going and going and going and going. But I will say, at the local level at least, the Dark Sea Serpent deck was really quite good for a while. But again, local level. A local tournament can be a tournament with like 5 people at it, right? It could be a tournament with 30 people at it. But fundamentally, not a lot of players and not a lot of like deck diversity, realistically, right? I think Darkness Phantomite is going to be the rerun. I would like to see it, but like we were saying just now, I think it is more likely that they specifically left Depot and Foot Soldier out of this wave just to put them as the rerun. Like, to me, that makes too much sense. Like, there's literally just the two of them. Guess how many cards you get in a rerun? You're going to get 2, right? I don't know. Triad Drago was the first draw card for dragons. Oh, the golden age. The golden age of dragons. Like Sky Save Your Wish. Genesis is fun. Fair. At least you can't activate Habikiri in extra deck. I mean, you're not wrong. OTS best deck. I mean, I know you love OTS. I'm not a big fan of it. But OTS is a deck that feels like very mediocre until suddenly it is like the most disgusting deck in the game. Like, it is such a weird deck. Speaking of formats, what's your thought on character deck duels format, and which deck do you prefer playing there? I like the idea of character deck duels. I like that I can play it. The games are very quick. They're very simple. I never have to, like, learn something new because the format never changes, which means if ever I just fancy playing a couple of rounds, I can. I personally play the Onomat deck with Yuma, but that's because the deck can reliably get wins, and I like the way that the deck plays. If you were to ask me, like, out of all the characters there, which character do I like the most, it would not be Yuma. And if you were to ask me which archetype I like the most out of them, it would not be Onomat. But in terms of the way that the specific character deck versions of those decks play, I think the Onomat deck is my most my favorite. I'm sorry, it's just that when I first joined Rush, I noticed how Dark, Sea Serpent, Maximus, particularly Abyss, cracking were limited for some reason. I wanted to know the history. I mean, so one of the weird things we did see when the Dark, just call this the Sea Serpent Maximums, came out is some of the side pieces were really, really good on their own. So you didn't even need to play the whole Maximum. You could just play like the odd side piece in like Sea Serpent mid-range, or like we're saying, like the Tiamat version of the deck. Well, I suppose the Tiamat version, I think you still played the whole Maximum, but I haven't seen the Tiamat version in a long time. I think the last time I saw it would have been like, ooh, like 5 or 6 months ago. But it's still relatively recent, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Hello, Tomato. It's time to do the worm. Hello, JD Scrub. We have actually been yapping for so long. I was expecting to be jumping into games after about 40 minutes of yap, and we have been yapping for far longer than I was expecting. No, I've been like still yapping. Dearly Beloved, my favourite song of all time. I play mostly either Red Eyes or Resonators in character duel format, mainly because these are my favourite archetypes. Out of the current ones that exist, I would love to see Akiza added so I can play Rose Dragons. Well, I want to see Arc 5 added. I know a lot of people don't want that. But personally, I would love to see Arc 5 added. Because I want to play Super Heavy Samurai, and I want to play Fluffles. Like, they're two of my favourite decks, and they're just not available. Makes me sad. We like Tomato Yapping. I mean, for me, the most fun part of the stream is just chatting to you guys. Like, that is the fun bit. Playing the game is fun as well, but that's fun regardless if I'm streaming, right? So I can play games off stream. I can't chat to you guys off stream, at least not like this. So for me, this is the fun bit. And now that I think about it, since we're about to start destroying Dax, why don't we get some bumping dubstep going? I mean, I am not gonna put dubstep on. I'll tell you that right now. Is that OG Toti in the chat? Hello there, Toti. Welcome, welcome. By the way, since tomorrow is going to be the next Zexal watch through, what did I miss? What did you miss last time on Zexal? We started the top 24 because that was apparently a thing that we did. And they were on roller coasters and dueling. It was very strange. It was very strange. Vagabond just beat me with Worm. Excellent. That's what we want to see. So, we've had one tournament that had 16 plus players. And that was the RDR Weekly 72. And look what happened. Let's make this a bit bigger. Look at that top 4. We got Worm, won it. We had Worm in second place. And then third place, we had Worm and Seven's Road. So, it's looking pretty tasty so far for the Worms. Roller coaster duels. Did you come across the magnet guy yet? Yes, we did. Well, the 3 magnet guys, right? They were not super interesting, if I'm being completely honest. And then in 5th to 8th, we had another Sevens Road, 4D, Chemicalized, and Metarian. So currently, this is our top 4. It's looking pretty good. And then here's our top 8. So, you know, WYRM's looking pretty strong right now. Let's make this a bit smaller. Those cards are so flipping useless, even in my opinion, as a non-competitive player. I mean, that's fair. We haven't had a tier 0 in Rush Duel for a while, no. Last I could think of was Light Galaxy last WCQ. I mean, yeah, I don't think we're going to have a tier 0. I mean, there's always a chance. Never say never. But I doubt that... Because in my opinion, to be tier 0, you not only need to be the best deck, you need to be so far ahead of every other deck that you're in tier 0, right? In my mind, you can be a solo tier 1 deck and not be a tier 0, right? Chemicalized get represented, hell yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure coming up, you guys are going to see Heroic Challenges versus Automatic, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I'll take the games as they come. We finally got to see what deck Thingy was playing. Tron, which was interesting as well. So I wasn't expecting him to be playing that deck. Wasn't really a tier 0. I mean, it depends on your definition, right? I think you could call it tier 0. I don't think I necessarily would, but here we go. Eternal Galaxy Road. So this was... Oh, look at all that. Look at all of that galaxy. Oh, that's beautiful. But if we go down and take a look. This was the Galaxy format. And this is sort of the same sort of representation or distribution. You have to swap Dark Galaxy and Light Galaxy around. But we had for Worlds. Or the World form. Or the WCQ format. Then after that we had this format. Where Light Galaxy was still very dominant. But then Hero and Red Boot have shown up. And then Forbidden Fantastic Show. We had E-Hero Spellcasters. But if we go to... God, what was the format with... Trying to think what the thingy format was. The Gaia Metarian format. When was that? Metarian. Dragon Fusion, Psychic Fusion. This was the awkward time for me as well in the format. Blazing Chemicalization. There we go. Here we go. There she is. There's the Gaia Metarian. Actually, that didn't last long. We go back. Yeah, it immediately fell out. So this was our tier 0. This is it right here. Chemicalized got represented. Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure coming up, you guys are going to... Yeah, we read that. It took up 81 of the top 100 spots in WCQ. That's top 0. Was it actually 81? I thought it was closer to like 60. PTSD flashbacks from Gaia format. Plays Heraldic, which is actually nowadays one too decent deck. New support. Light vs Dark Galaxy was surely a time. Actually, I would love to see Sawatari added to character deck duels format. But then the other thing you have to remember as well is where do we put Chaos Galaxy, right? Is Chaos Galaxy entirely its own deck? Or is it just Light Galaxy with extra steps? Because Chaos Galaxy removed Dark Galaxy from the equation, effectively. But Chaos Galaxy doesn't exist without Dark Galaxy. But at the same time, it's still just the Light Galaxy skill. And most of the cards in the deck are still Light Galaxy cards. So it's like... It's kind of just Light Galaxy. And I think if we consider Chaos Galaxy and Light Galaxy as one deck, that is kind of tier 0. So I think it's fair. Alright. I guess the last thing I'll talk about quickly is the football. I know no one cares about the football, but I care about the football. I actually stayed up. I stayed up till 1 AM to watch the England game because I am British. I am from England. Football is our national sport. Therefore, you have to, by law, stay up to watch the football. That's just how it works. And then the game got pushed back an hour because of rain. So I had to stay up till 2 AM to watch the start of the game. And then I watched until 4 a.m. when the game finished. And then I died. But now we have England versus Norway. And there is, I don't know if anyone's keeping up with this, the kind of the discourse that's going on. There's been like a, who claims Hatsune Miku thing going on social media. Because it was, I think it was Japan played against Brazil. And there was a meme going around that if Brazil beat Japan, they get to claim Hatsune Miku. And then Norway beat Brazil, so then they claimed Hatsune Miku. And now we're going to play against them and we want to claim Hatsune Miku. And that is what's happening now. So even in the world of football, Hatsune Miku is always at the centerpiece. That's just how it works. I don't make the rules. That's just how it goes. So now we're going to see if we can have British Hatsune Miku. I'm not sure if that will actually be a good thing or not, but there is a surprising amount of fan art for, you know, obviously Hatsune Miku in general, but Brazilian Hatsune Miku and Norwegian Hatsune Miku, and now we're starting to get some fan art for English Hatsune Miku. So Chaos Galaxy as a deck is never truly going to be good until Galactica. Chaos Oblivion comes out because that card is literally what spurred Chaos Galaxy. Oh yeah, as like an actual deck, yeah. It's just an iteration of like Galaxy, like how in Speed we've put Pure Stardust and Centurion Stardust. I think that's fair then. I just joined, so is WYRM built different? I mean, WYRM is doing very, very well right now, Cardfighter. Doing very, very well. Can you explain what the Brazil Miku thing? Why everyone is turned into Miku? Queuing is the British national sport. What do you want about? I mean, it's definitely up there, but I think football does kind of eke it out. Portuguese Miku will never be real now. She can't. She cannot, unfortunately. So much. So each nation has a Miku now. That's basically how it goes. And whoever like beats this chain. So if Norway just win the World Cup, they get to just keep Miku, right? So now it's just like whoever wins the World Cup gets the claim on Miku. Because if Norway lose, obviously we get it. If Norway win, they'll go on. And then no matter what, Miku stays in rotation, right? Weeb culture has made their way into the football scene. That's just how it be. That's just how it be. But with all of that done, I think it's actually time to play the game, guys. We're gonna play. We're gonna play some Rush Duels. We're gonna play some Worms. I'm gonna jump in. This is my first game. We're gonna make some mistakes. Let's see what happens. Ryugu Hein from Peru. Okay, let's see what you got. We are in silver, by the way. We have not touched rank this entire season, so we're just going to see what happens. We're going second. I don't know if that's good or bad for this deck. Probably good. Wait, this is a gaming channel? Exactly. What game? We playing Miku football? Well, then the game to decide where Miku goes is going to be on Saturday, so we'll have to see what happens there. Okay. Right, so he's got thingy. I mean, that doesn't matter to us right now. I guess for now, we just use the skill, right? Oh, I should have used that first, probably, actually. So we can't do a maximum summon. Oh, I really should have done the other one first. Okay. In which case now, I think we do, like, I play like this. Oh, but I need this as well. I really should have summoned the Haken first. That would have made so much more sense. Probably grab these two then. You get like fusion, which doesn't help. You're a bit awkward. I could just hope that he gets a double draw. That's probably the best I can do. It's either that or I get rid of this. Let's do this. We're gonna gamble. We're gonna gamble with Haken. Right, activate Haken. Oh, that's not the gambling we like to see. That's awful. Okay. Oh, Haken sends itself. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I forgot Haken sends itself. We have absolutely messed this up. Alright. That was our warm-up game. You don't need the field spell, but your Sussa Shade is good. Now, I've never played Harken before. That was my Harken moment. Also, we had so many high levels in hand there. Maybe it was super greedy to not... I mean, in hindsight, knowing how Harken works now, there was no reason to keep the trap card. I think we just always had to send the trap there. Alright, let's see what happens here. Yappa finally tries... It's not a misplay if I don't understand how the card works. That's just not reading. There's a complete difference there. A misplay is like, you know, I do it and I go, why did I do that? This is like, I literally just didn't read the card. Okay. I can just max straight away if I want. I mean, just maxing seems pretty good. Let's try Harken. Let's see if he does anything to this. I'm so close to having, like, everything. Let's reveal this. I guess I'm just going to go for the max. Does it matter too much what we send her? I guess we'll just send you. We'll activate the effect. Not the draw we were hoping for. I mean, is there any reason to equip this? We're at 5k. I think we just go to battle. Ooh. Ooh, exciting. So now it's going to come down to... He needs to be playing something like TSA, right? Now that I know it's this deck, though, now I'm kind of hoping I actually played Shield, because there's a chance that he could just kill this. Alright. We did it. Can you get the field spell and max? So you could, if you had enough searches, if you had enough pieces in your hand. But not there, we couldn't. Not unless we drew one off of the Harken. Saw British Miku and lost concentration. Real. I hear French and don't feel angry, so it has to be Expedition 33. Why would you feel angry at French? Ooh. I mean, this hand does stuff, but... Is this Cyber Dragons? Cyber Dragon featuring Great Maju Gazette? There's a British Miku. Should I get the image back up? Bam. British Miku. Okay. I have options here. The issue is... It depends what his back row is. He's kept 2 cards in hand. He's got 2 back row. We could just go for the maximum, but it's a bit awkward. Maybe instead we just go for the Build Dragoon play, see what he does. The issue is, if I go for the Build Dragoon, I guess it doesn't matter, because I could just go for the second one if he hits it with something. Alright, let's summon this. No delay. So tribute summon this. We can't use the effect yet because we have to use the skill. I'll reveal Helmet. I mean... Do I just grab this? Fuse them together, use the equip, and then we can just go for the double pop. I don't even need the double pop, really, but... Summon out the big boy. We will activate Autumn Leaves. Which one of these do I even want back on top of my deck? Probably you. But then you just get me a maximum. Like, if I want it next turn. We'll equip this to you. Question is, do I keep this in hand? For the skill activation? Yeah, I think I will. Because this also now protects from widespread. Okay. Gain 600. Still dead. The issue is, neither of those were like real games. Like, both of those were just games my opponent like, didn't really play the game. True, be angry at the Italians. Wait, what have the Italians done? What have they done? Hard to complain about full combo. I mean, yeah. I could find a way, though. I am British. I could find a way. Hello, Badge. Welcome, welcome. Why are WYRM allowed to search over 100 of cards, but the rest of the skill only 3 to 4 targets? That's fine, Mono. That's completely fine. Don't worry about it. Are we committing war crimes? Nah. It's Arya. I mean, Arya is such a common name. I don't know if this is, like... the Arya. Go in second. So we need to be angry at Australians. Why do we have to be angry at anyone, Altarius? What's wrong? Why so angry? I mean, we have a maximum, because this deck does that. If you could just get your hand down to 1 or less cards, that would be absolutely fantastic. There we go. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Alright, step 1. Hearken. Activate Hearken. Not the tastiest draws, but having that is not awful. We activate skill. I could even send that. I could summon this. Grab back helmet, but like... what do I get out of that if I'm just going to send that anyway? Realistically, with this hand... this hand just doesn't really do a lot. I don't have a low-level max. I could just go for... Barkhammer plus Dragoon. Tribute 2. Summon out Dragoon without the discount. Fuse together. Go for a double pop. And then... it's not going to be lethal though, right? How much damage is it though? 3,000 plus 25. I get 1 draw off of that play. I think we'll go for that. I don't know if it's the correct play, but I think it's the play I'm going to go for. Right, we'll summon out Canteen. Return to the deck is going to be you. Add this back to hand. Then... yes, we just summon out Hearken. Tribute both. Summon. Well, there's the maximum piece I needed earlier to get a slight discount. I mean, this is lethal if his back row is actually just nothing. So... haha! I mean, I'll save that replay because he didn't like Like, he played how Seven's Road would play, right? He just had nothing. But, like, it wasn't like the last game where he had, like, a 0 attack monster in attack mode. That just showed off that my deck can just pop stuff without even having the field spell or whatever, right? Metaphor! Yeah, I still haven't actually finished Metaphor yet. It's on my list of games to go back. It wasn't even lethal, used Harken. Oh, what is Harken's restriction? Only attack with one monster. See, this is why reading is really helpful. In which case, I don't want that replay anymore. Hello, Sora Mia. Oi, mate. We sucking some wormies. Yeah, we sucking some wormies. For some reason, I heard Candy and I was confused. Yeah, you know, the Candy worm is my favorite. Oh. Do we just do it? Like, do we just slap it on the board and see what happens? I could set 2 as well. Just to get rid of them, because I don't think I want these right now. Like, I'd have cards in my hand to make his attack slightly bigger, but if he's at 35, I don't think it matters, right? I think I'd rather just get more draws. Behold! First you bully Arya, now bully some random guy. I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is very outable. He's playing an archive. He could just drop Divine Dragon, right? Ugh! Okay. Oh, that's actually very annoying because he can use the skill and put me down to 29 and put him up to 31. Which is very annoying. GG's, I was going to ask on Discord if that legit was your ladder. Hello, Arya, welcome. Yeah, I actually didn't have lethal, which I didn't know either. What, I didn't have lethal? I mean, this is fine. Like, we still have... If we draw any maximum piece, we can still just make another maximum if we want to. Bam. We have another maximum if we want it. Now the question is, do we want it? Step 1. We'll summon out Harken. There is a delay, so that's shady. So now, going for the maximum is probably just the correct play, right? There's no reason to do anything else. So, we will go ahead and activate. We'll reveal Helmet. We'll grab back you. And then I think it's got to be Autumn Leaves. Boost up even higher. I think that is the best play we're going to get here. To the grave. Does it matter? We're keeping that in hand either way. We're going to set that. We're going to play all of those. I don't think Canteen matters. But at the same time, I don't think Build Dragoon matters. I think I'm just going to get rid of Canteen. No, I'll keep Canteen, because I can send that. Ooh. We'll get rid of Build Dragoon. Maximum Shokan. Now he decides he wants to flip his own guy down. It means I don't get to pop it. If you don't use it, I'm just going to pop it. But I'm going to get piercing. So if you flip it down, I'm doing a lot more damage. Oh, we're going to do it. We're clicking the button. He saw me search the field spell as well, so he knows I've got it. But he does take away a draw from me, which is something. I could just put a maximum piece to the top, and then that guarantees I have a maximum next turn. Whoop. So the only thing I could do right now is destroy a spell trap on either side of the field and draw a card, which I don't think is worth doing. So I think we just get a battle and we just swing. Boop. Right, the scary thing is, if he still manages to pull off a Shining Flare play, I think I will just die. But you can go max, pop a back row, summon Infinite for fusion. Max, pop back row. Okay. Oh, then tribute Build Dragoon? How would I do that, though? Because I don't have... I couldn't make this one. Because I didn't have enough searches to get everything that I would have needed, right? Or, no, because... so I wouldn't have taken the field spell? I'm trying to think through the line. So you go for that. Oh, that's annoying. You'd pop the back row. Instead of searching that, you search the other one. Tribute over... So let's say we sent Canteen to the graveyard. We tribute this for Build Dragoon. Build Dragoon effect... We go, what, 1, 2? Summon that out. Oh, yeah, because it'd be the burn. Burn for 500. 35 plus 3k. Yeah. So that would have been... That was lethal. Okay. The thing is, it's not, like, immediately obvious to make the maximum just to pop a back row. Right? That's where we got tripped up. What are we doing with this? Oh, okay. We're going to do this, then go into this. And then... Is this OTK? Yeah, this has got to be OTK, right? Oh, wait, what? I mean... I'm alive? Do we just not play Shining? Tell that to Zach. He's been using God against me. Alright, I think we have everything again, basically, right? So I guess we'll summon out Harkin. There is a delay again, so that is yet another. Okie dokie. 1, 2. I mean, we could just do the same play, right? We could go for the maximum... Tribute the maximum. Go for the 2? Is that lethal? Maximum. We have to send one card to the graveyard, so I'd have to send, like, I don't know, this or whatever. Then I could send this. Go for the maximum, tribute the maximum, summon this, get this back. And then that's just Giga Lethal, right? I mean, we don't even have to use the equip spell, right? We could just do the play that Sora said. Which I think is just, like, funny. Let's grab this and this. Make sure that's everything. Then I can send Helmet now, because I could just get Helmet back with Canteen. Then we maximum summon. Welcome back to the deck, trap card. Look what we drew. Then we contribute this to summon this. Summon out Canteen. Activate Canteen. I don't think it matters too much. We'll put this back. Boost your attack. Add back Helmet. Activate. Go for this by using this and this. We go this, this, this. Wait, am I locked under Harkin at the moment? I can't remember if I used Harkin this turn. I might have used Harkin, which means I might not be able to kill. In which case, this might have been a... We might have thrown this, guys. We're under Harken! I mean, we might be fine. We might be fine. Alright, I need to remember Harken's restrictions. I need to remember Harken's restriction. That's something that I'm going to need to do in future playing this deck. Because that's 2 different turns we've had lethal and we have just not done it. Both times. Well, actually, not both times. One time because of Harken. Ah! You jerk. Don't worry, we are clip farming. Real. He's playing TSA as well. Harken the secret backstabber. Master does lingering restrictions much better than Duel Links. Yeah, you're not wrong. Hell, even, well, maybe not EDO. EDO is really good at telling you, like, when a card has, like, an effect on it. More so than Duel Links, in my opinion. Hero Rush Rising. Adds back fusion. Okay. And then we're setting monsters. Okay. Now the question is, does he have... Let's start out with this. We'll summon out Canteen. No delay. Interesting. Sure, you can go on top. Why not? You can have 100 attack. We'll grab this back. Sure, we'll just grab these 2. Ten cards in deck! Ah! Toggle off. Toggling off doesn't do anything, Santos. 10 cards in deck! You can't make it up. We have found every possible way to not win. We have found every possible way to not win this game. It is... You can't make it up. And this one only pops face up. Bark Combat effect. Bark Combat effect only works on face ups. It doesn't work. We literally have nothing. We have nothing whatsoever. We pass! There is a chance we live the turn, but, like, that's all we're doing. This is why we play the barrier. I mean, all we had to do is just have one more card in deck. The problem is if he has Avian Spell Tactics. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just get out of here. Man, we had 3 different turns where we had guaranteed lethal. But because of different restrictions that we were unaware of, we missed all 3 of them. Well, to be fair, the first one, there was no restriction. It was just... We didn't see the line. Okay, we would have won that game if we had... Oh, we're against Brad as well. We would have won the game if we weren't a dumbass, if we knew how to read. But we had... The deck would have won 3 different turns then. Alright, let's see what Brad's got for us. Ooh, no skill target. See if we can fix that. I'm starting to suspect that Konami can't put some characters in Vrains that have anime-only decks. They release characters from other worlds and alt arts. I mean, by that logic, none of the filler arc characters could have decks, right? But they still all have decks. Thank you for the follow, Arya. Let's rock Pog. Let's see what we get. I mean, that lets us play the game. So now the question is, what is the best line here? We can't make a maximum because we don't have any maximum pieces. We could grab maximum plus... I think that's still the best we've got. But it's not lethal. But, like, otherwise I don't think I have a play. So we reveal this. I think we have to grab this and this. Otherwise I just literally don't do anything. I'm gonna... Oh, it's so greedy to send this. It's so greedy to send this. I want to for value, but it's so greedy. I'm gonna get greedy. Oh, never punished. Oh, no! No! I'm a dumbass again! We're fine. We're fine. It's just, it's not super good value, but it's fine. It should still work. We do 1, we do 2. Summon this. What's even in our graveyard right now? I guess we'll just do this. What? What's going on here, Brad? Do you wanna talk about it, or do we not want to talk about it? Opening hand was Avarice, 2 times Watch, Prayers, and Star Pro. I had assumed you were probably playing Sky Savior. That was rough. That was rough. It's the hand you expect heroes to open more often, to be honest, but they just never do. Check DMs. That is a hand. That is a wild hand. Alright, let's see if we can get an actual win. We haven't really had... We've had like one actual win today, I would say. Balance skill issue. Good fuck, Sky Savior. Why do you hate Sky Savior? What's wrong? What's wrong, Soramia? What has Sky Savior done to wrong you in the past? When I play Rush, I get 5 monsters, or 5 spells, or 5 traps. I mean, unfortunately, it happens. Magical Stream is my only back row, and my last card prior to Harkin's effect was Seven's Road Magician, when you face me in a stream. That's the strategy. If our opponents just keep bricking, that's how we're going to win all our games. You're getting cancelled? Oh no. He got floodgated. Well, you know, just don't get floodgated, forehead. So Wish is going to be an annoying one. Because Wish will send my entire maximum away. Which is not ideal. Because he's gone first. If he didn't go first, it wouldn't matter. But because he has gone first... This makes it very difficult for me. Mind you, if I'd gone first, I wouldn't have the skill to search the maximum, so maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Is there a floodgate in Rush for real? There's about 5 total floodgates, I want to say. In the OCG, 2 of them are banned, and the rest of them aren't very good. I mean, that's not a bad card to draw, but right now we don't have a skill target. Sky Savior's protection is going to go down. We'll summon out Harkin. So now we're locked into only attacking with 1 guy, regardless of what we do. No skill target. Nothing to fuse. So... can't even attack over him. I've only got 2,500. Oh, I could attack over him with this, I guess. I think getting him to use the trap is probably worth. So let's summon out this. Because even if this gets hit, I just set the hand, right? So, and if his trap card's gone, then fantastic. Alright, let's summon out Canteen. You can go to the bottom of the deck. There's no reason to draw into you. Boost your attack up. We'll set. Probably just going to set this. Alright, so far so good, I guess. Only floodgates in Duel Links is in Rush is Yami Ruler. Well, and Yami Tarasu. Don't forget his fusion. I wonder why they're the first two ban cards in Rush. Because stopping special summons is just not fun. Like, at least Yami Tarasu, you could summon them. They just have to be in defense mode, right? This is the first game as well that we haven't opened a skill target. And it's also the game where we have to play very carefully around what our opponent's doing. Because he's obviously got Wish. I love how he's like, I activate my trap card, you can only attack once per turn. And then I'm like, I activate my monster effect, I can only attack once per turn. Did he use the effect? He did. So we are going to get out the Grace. B-Steam would like to know your location. Oh yeah, forget about B-Steam. Okay, this is fine. Because he's, like, he can't do anything with this. This fusion is just here to be stats. Like, I don't care if you shuffle cards from my graveyard. You can add a low-level get back, I guess? Does that matter? It depends what's in his hand. But even then, you're not going to be able to fuse from hand. So it would just be like, do you want to grab, like, a Dankus and just have it as a 1300 body? Which, I mean, isn't bad. I'll get a decent amount of damage in. When Sky Savior stream? I don't know. So, realistically, I am not planning to do a stream on Thursday because Heatwave. Today, it's not too bad. It's going to be warmer. And I'm not going to have to be able to have my door open. I don't like the idea of being shut in my office and basically turning it into, like, a hotbox. So I'm not going to be streaming on Thursday. Which means we might just not do a Sky Savior stream, full stop. Ooh, we had Prayer. That's spicy. So we know what the very last card is. This is Wish. The problem is I have no way to, like, force Wish. Because he'll just hold Wish until I max. This might actually just be a really horrible matchup for us. Because, like, I can't pop his cards, so going into the fusion is just not threatening to him. Well, we have that, at least. We'll drop Pog first, we'll see what we get. What I want to do is obviously go max. But I can't go max. Unless I have the max first, and a spare piece in hand. Which is just not going to happen. I could make just, like, 3k Guy. And then... But if I do that, I also need to already have it. Which means I think no matter what I do, I go Harkin. That's still not helpful. So, I go... for the fusion play. Then I hope... I think I have to go for both. and then just see what he does. So I can reveal this. I think I have to take this and this. That way I have the maximum as the backup plan if he uses the card on the fusion. The downside is this only has 2500 attack, so I won't be able to clear anything. The fusion has to clear the middle guy as well. But I think I have to do this. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, no, it shouldn't matter. Okay, we can activate this. I'll put this back on the bottom of the deck. Have him gain the attack. And grab this back. Then I'm going to summon this. Tribute 2. Activate the effect. There's no reason to make this one. Yeah, I think we just always make this. We go 1, 2. Summon out Dangerous. Okay. So now the question is, are we using our equip spell? I think we probably do, just so it can't be killed by battle. Then I have to get rid of this one. I think that's the best I've got. Okay. Adds back Lure. Looks bad, Tomato. I mean, with him having Wish down, there's not really much I could do about it. I just have to do what I can, right? I mean, his deck's looking thin, so that's like our backup win con. How dare he to play smart and correctly. I mean, I think I've played this about as well as I could have as well. Like, maybe there was, like, some very minor things I could have done better, but I think for the most part, we've pretty much been doing what we could. Let's see. Let's see what he does. It's going to move the camera down slightly. The issue now is he has 2 face-down cards. So now, if he has a second Wish, I'm then absolutely fucked. What's his out to field and equip? I mean, I don't know what else he plays, but he could just smack, like, over. We only have 800 life points left. Did he run out of time? Connection failed. So our life points were very low. So, in my mind, his win con was go into this, not this guy, into Degrace. This guy. If he goes into this, he gains attack equal to the number of face-up Celestial Warrior monsters. So he could have just, like, bumped this guy up to, like, 57, right? This was how I die. I mean, I'll probably save that replay, even though that was probably a loss. Realistically, I still think having a good loss is still good for the replays. So all these replays are so weird. I mean, that's just ladder gameplay, bro. Sometimes the ladder is just weird. Another UK! Excelente. Yuka Goha. Okay, let's see what they got. We're going first. XQT. Right. This is a weird hand, if we're being completely honest. Let's do this and pass. I just want as many draws as possible next turn. Interesting play. I mean, what do I even have here? I can go for that and that, but these are in the way, so I have to tribute 2 anyway. We're not going to get anything off of that. So I need this no matter what. We already have that, and then we just flip something over, right? So I'll just, I don't know, grab that. Go 1, 2, summon. That's a good draw. Guys, I don't think Execute is very good. I have this feeling that this deck is just not very strong. I mean, their turn 1 end board was pretty weak, realistically. I went against this guy. I forgot what he played. Well, he played set nothing pass. So... You know that one's definitely making the video, though. There's no way that one doesn't make the video. Best replay we've ever seen. Oh, Zorak has also posted his tournament. So... I'll check it in chat quick. So I want everyone to sign up to Rush Duel Dynasty 45. If that was me, I would have lost. Real. Oh, this is a hand. Do I set this? The issue is if it doesn't die, it puts me in a really weird spot. So I think the safe play is just set these 3. They also have higher stats. Hello, Tomato. How do you beat Worm on Ether? It's even worse when they're on the maximum, which is like all the ladder I face right now. Yeah, you just don't. Like, the way to beat that deck is to basically play back row hate, and then you pop the field spell. What is going on today? You have to pop the field spell, and then you have to pop the monster. If you can't do both of those things, you can't win. So you either need a way to pop the monster that is not DDD, you know, Destiny Divine Dragon, or you need a way to pop... Hit wants to do a duel challenge. Okay, we'll do a challenge after this one then, Hit. We're against Tatty Bong first. Oh, is it going to be a mirror? Oh, it's a mirror. Oh, we're going first in the mirror. That's a weird first hand. I might keep this, to be honest. If I set the extra guy, he just goes fusion and pops it anyway. If he goes maximum, having the extra guy on board doesn't matter. So, like, I think this is probably fine. Obviously, we don't want to have too few cards in hand because then he can activate Harken. Takes Autumn Leaves and Steeplejack. Okay. With Autumn Leaves, setting this wouldn't have done anything anyway, so... Have we got... Like... Alright, we got Nika. Okay. Nika effect. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal mill 3. We don't get Bokken. We are gonna summon Canteen. Canteen effect. We did mill the helmet though, so he has got some extra value off that if he wants it. Did he add back helmet? No, he just decided not to. Okay. Tributes for bot come up. Okay. There's no way you fusion when you've seen me have these delays. Oh my god, we're going for the fusion. Why? Why would we do this? It's Steeplejack. He will surely save us. So the reason we kept the middle piece is because if we draw either of the other maximum pieces, we only have to do one search. Whereas we can't draw another middle piece. We needed to keep this because it's a skill target. There we go. No, we didn't draw one. Feels bad. So if I want to make the max... could do that. What's the alternative here? Realistically, there isn't really much of an alternative, is there? I think I just make the max. Yeah, I think it is just maximum gameplay. There's no reason to keep you. Go into the max. We'll set 2. Go to battle. We'll just swing over this. Alright. With both of these traps, I'm feeling pretty okay. Now, we can't currently use the this one, but if this gets outed, we can. I mean, I think we just always hold the trap until he goes into a fusion. I don't think there's any reason to use it early. Okay. Nika just a mill? Surely there's no reason to do that. We've got the fusion, so I assume we're just going to tribute both of these. But we are still just going to mill 3 randomly. Okay. The only reason to mill is just to get fuel for the trap card, of which you already have plenty. Like, what is... does Boka have any value here? Oh, I suppose that's in the graveyard. No, that works. That works. Just a side note, I'll be using Sky Savior. Why do you have to play the hard counter to my deck? Come on here. Come on. Challenges me to a duel. Wants to play the hard counter. No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine here. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let him summon another card. I think this is fine. If he wants to pop this, that's completely fine, because we have Total Destruction. So like, I'm fine for this thing to get destroyed. I think keeping the trap card, in a lot of ways, is better. Hello, Hikari. Welcome, welcome. Exclamation mark Hikari in the chat. Oh, we're going to go for the pop on the field spell. I like it. Ouchies. What are the last cards in hand? Behold! So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And that should be 16. I mean, I could put that back in as well. Yeah. I mean, this is fine. Is this lethal? We go 1, 2, summon. That's exactly 35 plus the bonus. So yes. So I can activate black metal. We can reveal. I need you, and I need one of you. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Don't need you. We summon. We tribute. We summon out. We activate the effect of Build Dragoon. We will go ahead and do a fuse using 1, using 2. Out he comes. Is this destroy one? Has he a face-up card on your field? Okay, so we have to summon you either way. Activate your effects. Get rid of you. We'll do you. And you. And that's the game. How much damage was that on board? That was what? 55, 7,000, 8,000 damage? Because we got the 1,000 burn as well. I mean, that's pretty gross. That's pretty gross. Alright, now we get to play against Hit. So I'll go ahead and make a room. That's probably the best way to do this. Demolished. Exactly, Ursus. Exactly. Well, I don't know why I bother coming out here. Oh, we can do our duel against Osaka level 100 or whatever the hell it is. Right, duel room. Create room. Rush. I'll just make this big in case. Bam, bam. Create the room. There you go, Hit. I'm going to assume Hit is still in the chat. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that Hit didn't join the chat, do a duel challenge, and then leave. I think that would be very strange. But how are you doing today, Hikari? I don't know if Hikari's still around or she just popped in to say hello. The other issue is I can't see... Alright, someone's already in here. And it is Hit. Excellent. Alright. We're probably going to get bullied here. Because from that last game we played, it feels like this deck kind of counters us a little bit. It's the duel of the century. I mean, I don't know if I go that far. You know, Hit and Tomato Swords have had a rivalry all these years. Ask for ID to see if it's the real Hit. How would that help? I don't know what Hit's ID is. It's Gavin. Oh boy. Oh, and we're going second. I mean, going first again doesn't necessarily actually help us. This is a weird hand. That's the other thing as well. We have to assume that our hand is public knowledge. So we're just going to kind of see what we can do. Our hand is not very well equipped to deal with this, unfortunately. That changes everything. That now means this hand is now very well equipped to deal with this. Alright. So now I just do this. It has to be you. Out comes the big boy. I think I would rather prioritize getting this online more than anything else. Go get him, champ. Alright, this should be very difficult to out. We'll see if... It's not impossible. It is by no means impossible. But this shouldn't be, like, super simple. Okay, we start out with Watch. Hey everyone, opinions on Sky Savior Timu. Sky Savior looks like it is very uniquely positioned to be a... probably like an anti-meta deck against very specific decks. But it also still means you have to draw a good hand, right? Just got a £50 voucher for eBay? Damn, son. No, you could... There was a guy that Hal linked to me before who sells Rush Duel cards, but as singles, and he sells them at like quite a reasonable price. I was thinking about picking them up, but I was like, eh. But if you got a £50 voucher, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Start your Rush Duel collection. We're playing over Rush Storm as well, just for extra anti-worm tech. This is like the most anti-worm build of Sky Saviors you could get. Let's see if it actually just demolishes us. Because again, this... Oh, Compulse, okay. I mean, that was the best way to deal with this. Okay, now we've probably lost the game. Because now he's going to have Wish, almost certainly. Either set on the field or in his hand. And then that's just game. Because I can't force out Wish, especially with this hand. Good old Compulse. I mean, it was one of those, like, it was unlucky of him not to be able to set up the graveyard for Wish immediately. So that was unlucky. But it was very lucky to just open the Legend Trap, right? But by the way, this deck is entirely built as an anti-worms deck. So we have been challenged to a duel for 10,000 channel points. In the most like direct, I have constructed this deck very hyper specifically to be exactly your deck, which is very funny. We're probably going to have this one just be a best of one, because I don't... Oh, I'll save the replay, and this can go in the video as well. That's all fine and dandy, because that's actually quite a good replay. But I don't really want to play a best of 3 with this. Outplayed, to be honest. Just open the Compulse, Lamau. Alright, let's go back. It is really funny, though, how Sky Savior is a deck that a lot of people are saying is really, really bad, but does very specifically have a reasonable matchup into Worm. It's very funny. It's very, very funny, that. I wonder if Konami knew what they were doing when they did that. I guess, I don't know. Is it likely that you're going to be able to stick Drukmua and... Thingy on turn 1? What's the card I'm thinking of? Drukmua and Wish, like turn 1. GG's, GG's. I think we are going to go for this, just because otherwise our turn 1 is like set 2 wimps, and I'm worried I might die. So I'm just going to like stick these 2 on the board, and then pass. I don't think this is like the sexiest turn 1, but I think this is probably the best I could do. Does anyone know, by the way? So our opponent's name has this like character at the front. And this is a character I see at the front of so many Japanese players' names, but I don't know what it actually means. So what did you think? I mean, my opinion on Sky Savior is the deck still seems really weak. But again, if you built it the way... If you build it in like the super anti-worm version that you've built, then I think, you know, obviously it'll be really good into us. Are we going to get OTK'd? Are we going to get 6,000 pierced? Bro, I had no options. Am I really going to get 6,000 pierced to death? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. We're setting cards. Oh, I was so worried there that he was literally going to slam down the fusion, discard 3, and then slam into me for 6,000. That's a hand. We have no idea what his back row is. So if we're worried about trap cards, the play is obvious. We just go for the fusion. Oh, the fusion, the maximum. Do we just go max? Like, is it just max for safety? I kind of want to go fusion because it threatens lethal, but if he has a shady, we just get absolutely mobbed by it. I think we have to go for the max. Right, we revealed this. I mean, if he has thingy, we get mobbed anyway, I guess. Right, we'll do this. We'll just do this. I'll send this to the grave. We're just going to go for the max summon now. Okay, so it looks like he did have Shady. Now, there is the Shady. Unfortunately, there's not really much more we can do with this. Now, if we were being super safe, we would probably not attack out of fear of widespread, but his deck can easily out this anyway. If he goes action, he can just reduce us by 2k and beat us over. If he goes full orchestra, he could just boost over and attack us, right? So this is by no means safe. It's called that a fusion maximum deck is looking good. Yeah. I mean, it's a deck that can fusion or maximum, right? Ooh. Okay, so he's going to go up to 6,000 probably. Well, I guess he only needs to go to 5. Oh, no, we are going to go for action. Okay. Okay, reduced by 2k. This clears it on its own. The downside is I'm only getting 1 draw, which is quite a big downside here. It's really not ideal. It's an early 7s max. It has trap protection. Oh, yeah, Volt. That's right. Of course it does. Of course it does. I always forget that was just like what the middle piece used to do. Right, are we dead? That's the next question. Are we going to fuse these just for the sake of it? We are. This is 800 more attack. Is all this is doing. So this is currently what? 31? No, it's not even 800. It's 700. So this is 3,000 damage on board. Unless he can get out of 28. Which, I mean, I guess was possible. If he had another ballet, he just had lethal. That's kind of spooky. Now the question is, we don't know if he has another back row. Either way, we can't do a maximum play again. So now it's just, if he has another Shady, we just lose. But, like, what else am I doing? What else are we doing, realistically, with this hand? I mean, it has to be him and him, right? I guess I don't need that. If it's Shady, it just doesn't matter, right? We get cooked either way. Send that, summon, use the effect, get that back. I guess we do this. No delay. Okay, so far so good. I guess... I mean, no matter what I do with this, it's going to be awkward. Right, we'll add this back. We summon... There's no reason to do anything else other than this, right? Can maximum flip face down? No, no, no. Activate the effect. Sort out the music. We do 1, we do 2. Summon him out. Then I pop both. I mean, we potentially just have lethal, right? So we'll summon this. Well, I don't think this is going to be lethal, but we'll do you and you. Activate Autumn Leaves. Pop you on top again. Oh, I probably... No, I should have put the other guy on top. There's no reason to do that. Never mind, you got nothing. I should have put a skill target on top, because I just realised all of my skill targets are in graveyard. But that was the misplay. The rest of that was pretty clean, I think. I wish... Yeah, imagine that. But I also wish we could delete maximum monsters from the game. I get what you're saying, Serena. I do kind of get it. At the same time, every good deck should have the ability to beat maximums. Now, it does sort of still turn the game into just draw the out. But they're not... It shouldn't be like the old days where like you just didn't have a way to deal with it at all. And I do think maximum is a cool mechanic. It's just... A lot of the time, it just can be a little bit frustrating. I think maximums should feel like these like towers, but a lot of the time they just feel like FTKs, right? Where if it sticks, depending on the deck you're playing, you could just lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you want to, you could have put on the bottom to try and draw into Primal Howl to beat the Battle Trap. Well, I'm not playing Primal Howl in this build. So I could not have drawn Primal Howl. Hand-holding Genie? What is hand-holding Genie? Worm Bros, we finally are meta. It's a cool mechanic in the anime. Is this deck any... Is this deck, we can get there at the end, any good so far? Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's reasonably strong. My vibe is this is a top tier deck. But we will see. We will see where things end up. This hand is not awful. Like, it could be better, but this is really not awful. Does that change much? That's actually a really awkward draw. Because now I could go max, and then, what? Max just slap. Doesn't really accomplish anything. Or we go... 1, 2... Activate... Ah, but then I don't have anything to discard. I'd have to pop that. God, that draw is so annoying. Like, any other card other than... Cavalry... I guess the other annoying draw would have been a second copy of Build Dragoon. I mean, this is fine, though. We can still do plays. Like, this is still completely fine. It's just slightly more awkward. Not as clean as I would like. We go 1, we go 2. I think... It's either this or this. I think right now there's no reason to keep this in hand. So I'll just send this. Tribute over this to summon this. Activate the effect. That doesn't change much. But it's nice that we've drawn it, I suppose. Any normal would have been fine. So now the question is, do I maintain this? Is there any reason to maintain it? Could have Build Dragon, Kaiser on field, and Autumn Leaves. Is that better, though, than having this and just popping 2? Like, I don't think it is, but... Right. We're going to send this to the graveyard, I think. Do this, this. Run into this. Get him for 3k. So I could have gone for lethal, but Light Galaxy plays so many high defense monsters, I didn't want to risk it. There was a line to get there, but we would have lost it anyway based on what we popped. Was used with Scrum Force to stall summon Zushin the Sleeping Giant. Oh, in the 5Ds show, right? In the... What was the tournament called? Maybe TSA would come back in the meta if this deck is popular enough. I don't think TSA is good enough, to be honest. I think there are just better... Like, the only reason to play TSA is because you don't want to invest 2 cards into dealing with the Equip Spell maximum combo. Transam Linak. Yugo Shokan. Dangerous is just so disgustingly good, man. I think we just do this, right? 2 cards shouldn't be able to... Like, you can out this board easily, but there's no way you kill me with 2 cards. Yeah, so that clears that. Which means I probably still get to keep Bill Dragoon, which is at least nice. Not the best thing in the world, but... The problem is not beat the maximum, the problem is the equipment. I can see some people using Overrush Storm. Well, we already saw Hit was playing Overrush Storm in his deck. I mean, we have 100 different ways to win the game. I don't know why I'm thinking about this so much. I'm going to do Canteen, because I like Canteen. I don't think this matters too much. We'll just put this on the bottom. Boost you. Add this to hand. See, if I didn't have either of those, I could have done that to get the skill activation, see? Reveal. I want you. Again, it really doesn't matter. We've got, like, such giga lethal here. I'll take this. Bum. Da-dun, da-dun. Da-da-da-dun. Well, we meant to click no on that first one, but this is fine. We'll just make some room. I'll make this one by using this and this. Summon out the big boy. Pop 1. Pop 2. I'm going to play my cards because I can. Then we want this on top of deck. And then we have 6,100 damage. At least we're getting like some actual replays today. It's Cyclone Valley! Hello, Cyclone. Welcome, welcome. You've caught us playing Worms. In this lovely, lovely, lovely Heatwave that we're in. Fortunately, we are at the very beginning of the Heatwave. The Heatwave kind of started on Saturday, I guess? And has been progressively getting worse. It's going to get real bad, like, Thursday, I think? Spinning plates alert. Oh, we love spinning plates, man. I want to spin so many plates, as many as I can. WRGP was the event? Ah, yeah, the World R Grand Prix? I don't know what the R was. Oh, this is probably be our last game, by the way. Just so everyone is aware. What do you think will be meta in September for Speed Duel? That is such a hard predicament to make there, my friend. That is... I don't even know where I would start with that prediction. This is a weird hand. I could do... Bam Bam. Go for the pop. I have a feeling he's got... Either way, it's gambling the other way, so I think we have to do this. So I'll reveal this. I want you... And probably just this to get the discount. It's like really important here. I'll send this. Okay, we probably want to hold this until we see what he's got. So let's start out by summoning this. No delay. That's already very interesting. Okay. Now what? Using this is now negative. I mean, I guess we summon, activate. Okay, so he's got... Is it going to be specifically widespread? Okay, it was widespread. Nothing we could do about that. So, Harkin obviously would have been quite good. If we could have gone into the maximum, that also would have been nice, but this way we threatened lethal. And to go into the maximum, I would have had to use Harkin first, gambled on drawing a max piece. At that point, that locks me out of going for the lethal line, which like made it a very complicated line. Zushin is just too busted. The thing is, it could come if they nerfed it, or they could just do like a retrain. Like the baseball cards, if they wanted to. So, like, never say never, but I think it's unlikely. I think they're more likely to bring out the anime greatest hits rather than the anime, like, one-off. Oh, you shouldn't have. Now I can summon out my Harkin without giving a crap. Okay, we have some cards. This is exciting. So now I think the players, we just go for the maximum, you know? Oh, we can't go for the maximum. We'd have a skill target. Oh, that's so annoying. No, we can just get a skill target. We are absolutely fine. Right, we know he hasn't got a delay there, so we just use this. I'll put this into the deck. We'll boost your attack. Grab this out. Then we'll activate the skill. I need you. Who do I have in hand currently? I need you and the butt. Then... I guess Build Dragoon ain't doing much for us here. Maximum Shokan! I could force a card into my hand. I guess it doesn't really matter. So I guess we will just use this now. Boop. Then I suppose, again, it doesn't really matter. We'll put that back. Just to be giga safe in case this doesn't kill. And everything was fine. Ah, this deck feels so fun when it works. It feels so fun when it works. Fun fact, Harkin the card shares a name with a Bionicle character, a Piraka, and a Raging Idiot of one of that. I've never been like super big into the Bionicle lore. I used to have the first wave of support they got, and I watched the first Bionicle movie. That is about... Oh, I read like the comics that came with the models. That is about the most I have in terms of like Bionicle lore. Tomato, read me or perish. What does that even mean? Oh, do you want me to read your other messages? Tomato, have you realised that we got Sorcier and not Sky Savior symbol, isn't that very weird? That is very, very strange. So my gut feeling was that we were going to be getting a selection, and that like maybe we could put it in there, but it feels weird to drop a selection later in the month. I think that's a bit strange. So second to third back row could have let them live if it was Ember. It could have, but like I don't know if there is a trap card that would have saved him. Right? Obviously, I mean, it would have had to have been, what, exactly Restoration? So my logic was that if I just have all the trap cards down, I feel so safe that he can't do anything to me. Because with 2 Shady and a Trap Hole, what realistically is he doing on the crackback, right? Please say trigger warning before selection box. I know how much you love the selection boxes. But that is going to be the end of today's stream. I hope everyone had a good time. I, for one, did. It's not been too bad today, heat-wise, which is actually really, really nice. Now, again, I have got my door open. The door to the office is open, which means I do get a bit of circulation. If I was shut in here, it would probably be awful. But, as I already said earlier, we are not planning on doing a Thursday stream. I think it's just going to be too hot. I think, realistically, I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to be dehydrated. I'm not going to be having a good time. And I think if I'm not having a good time, the stream isn't going to be a good time. So, unfortunately, we are not planning to do a Thursday stream. We will still tomorrow be doing the Zexa watch-along. So the plan is still to do the Zexa watch-along. Thursday, there will not be a stream. Sunday, we're going to play it by ear. If it's still very, very hot, and I am unable to have the office door open, then we will see how it goes. But I'm not going to promise anything. But yeah. I just arrived. Did you just play? Yeah, we've just finished. We played about an hour and a half of Worms. And we've just finished everything. Bye. Adieu, or did you discuss the matter? We did both. It's all going to be in the VOD. The VOD will obviously be on Twitch, and the VOD will be over on YouTube as well, if you are interested in that. But, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye! I misclicked the button.